Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, from all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Welch. But with me, yo, Sean Welch, we're back. We're here, and we're excited. We got a whole host of fight talk to cover as everything's happening everywhere, every time, all at once, right here in the sports world, in the boxing world. As a whole, we're going to have ourselves an exciting event and an exciting endeavor because we got the face-off of Benavidez and the Yarde, Devin Haney versus Brian Jr. and the rest of the Ring 4 card that's happening on tomorrow, as well as, I believe, since today is Friday, the world of Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. That's also on right now. So we're trying to play the field and do two things at once. It's going to be a shock. It's going to be a lot to cover. As you can see in the title, we're going to be doing final breakdowns of the fight, final predictions, of all the major fights on the card. But this is going to shoot all the fights, honestly. That's why we're going to dive into shoot as much as we can in the world of sports as a whole. Because, again, this is still the championship rounds where you all drive the conversation every Friday. We always do that. You all control the show. And you all control the conversation of everything that we're going to discuss throughout the day. On today, you all drive the conversation. You all control the pace of the show. You all help make this whole thing possible by having your voice being seen and heard and being done as the greatest tool of the day to go and drive where we're going and how we do this whole thing. So, hey, I'm so happy you're here. Appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Share the show with everybody you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. Be sure to leave a like on the video and also be sure to comment your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section so that you all can have your voice be a part of the whole of the conversation. Now, we already got people in the chat already. Yo, yes, B, I see you already in here. AJ and Jake Paul, their press conference is on. Yeah, I'm trying to watch both things at the same time. Because we also got to talk about the face-off that we had in reference to, the face-off that we had yesterday of Devin Haney and Brian Jr. There was a little bit of nervous energy. We're going to discuss that. Will that change on today? And will it be a little bit more even keel? A little bit more focus isn't the right word because it's always focus, but you get what I'm saying? The unease of sorts that people that you may have going on. Well, will that be less apparent going into today when they finally face off for the last time? All that and more, we're going to discuss on the show. So please, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Hey, let me see what you all got to say. Like with Armin Holder. Hey, brother. What's going on with it? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. I appreciate you coming through. You have to say Norman looks like he has Haney shook. Hey, I'm going to tell you something right now. Yes, he does. Like I said, we're going to delve into that in so much way. He looked like he had Devin Haney a little bit nervous. Rather, Devin Haney looked from the north, from what the build-up of this fight has been previously, how he's been talking a bunch of smack, how he's been going through and really trying, and all of a sudden he's need more. So for me, something feel a little bit off. And I think he might be actually shook, genuinely. Daddy haven't been having the same luck with the whole banter that he normally does over the rest of his opponents or the opposing team. So it's getting a little bit shaky out here in the world of Devin Haney right now. And the question of can he get the upset is a legitimate question because it's a legitimate concern. is a real concern. Absolutely. See, AJ promises the KO Paul like he did for instance. Got it. Yeah. Look, I'm trying to make sure I keep track of both conferences and venue, because if both of these things are going on at the same time, it's it's gonna be something serious. Trying to keep track of both AJ and Jake Paul and what each of them has to say to each other, as well as with this whole card today. But like I said, the whole show is driven by you, Walker. We're gonna have a lot to discuss. We're gonna have a lot to talk about. Absolutely. Puma seems very confident. Puma better be careful. I think I actually saw he better watch it now. I'm not gonna lie, I just saw the press conference. I just saw what I didn't see yesterday when they were doing the whole arrivals and the press conferences and all that stuff. But I think he was grabbing on to Jesse with Ben Rodriguez, like trying to shove him, trying to, throw his weight around a little bit. Say, hey, Butler, that belt's gonna come up with me. He better be careful. We're gonna end up on a poster. Legitimate. He gonna end up on a poster. Let me see. I smell an upset coming. I'm telling you, a lot of people, this is a very volatile affair. Puma should not be overlooked. He shouldn't, but he also better not be poking the bear, because if he does, it can be very bad. Norman looked very fast in the open workout. So, hey, look, let's delve into it. It's a lot to discuss. It's a whole lot to conversate about. So let's do what we do best. It is time to start the show, and it is time to step into the ring. Yes, sir. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of this show. Also, I almost forgot. Just again, we're still trying to get used to this whole thing. Hey, we are monetized thanks to you, the viewing and listening public. We appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. And so now if you want to give, there's 3 ways to do it now. You can do it through Cash App and PayPal like we always been there doing. Links in the description. Or through straight up YouTube themselves. If you got a super chat, a gift, whatever the word is. We're still trying to figure out how all this stuff works, what all this stuff means. But hey, if you want to give some dough and you like what's going on and you want to make sure your voice is heard, we won't get to everybody. But, yeah, just to throw yourself a fun line. Hey, go ahead. Do what you got to do. And we're going to be reading it off. We're going to be having a good time. Absolutely. But with all that being said, hey, it's time to jump into the show. It's time to step into the ring. And it's time to start our favorite segment, which is again the championship rounds, where you all drive the conversation as well as going through the rest, and I do mean the rest of the entire Ring 4 card. And we'll start with Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., since that's been the biggest talking point of the week, of the month, of this entire card. And as we can see right now, I feel Norman is going to surprise a lot of people. Hey, I do too. You have to understand. Here's an important thing you need to know. With this fight, this is a very important fight for both endeavors, specifically for the likes of Brian Norman, because this is gonna be the first time that a lot of people have seen this Butler fight. And I don't say that just as hyperbole. I say that because genuinely, we in the deeper boxing sphere, sure, we know Brian Norman's a threat. We know he's a danger. All that stuff. But the reason why we're talking about this whole saga of could he be the next one of the future faces of this sport and what he has to offer is because of the fact that we're dealing with a man who is at the precipice, of if he beats Devin Haney, he will get the shine from unknown to outright superstar. Now, I'm not saying unknown in a negative context. Compared to the likes of Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, and the rest of that core 4 people, when it came to the notoriety of the casual average fan, many people don't know a lot of these fighters up until they actually step into the ring. And then once they see them, they get impressed and they want to follow. That's what we're seeing with the likes of Brian Norman Jr. right now. Yeah, he's had a lot of knockouts. Yes, he is a champion at 24 years old, legitimately. Yes, he's seen, understandably so, as the baddest 147-pounder in the world, the baddest welterweight in the land. However, his cachet still ain't up to par, but this is the point where that can all shift and change. Now, that's well and good, but that can also be a very bad sentiment, because is the stage big enough, or is he big enough for this stage? Is he ready for this type of grandiose step into the spotlight for the world to witness him and to see what he can actually be? And will he fall on his face from the standpoint of laying an egg on the biggest night of his life? It's been a useful type of criticism, not the right word, but more so a useful tool of intrigue as another fixture into what this fight can be. But again, for me, I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. I think he's going to show up and show out and do what he does best, which is come through and destroy like he's done throughout his entire career and against Devin Haney, who I think, again, I truly believe that Devin Haney is a fighter who is built for Brian Norman to beat because of what he brings and what he does not bring to the table as a boxer. Though he has all the skill, it's the technicality that can be nullified strictly by, well, not strictly, but in heavy part by controlling the physical dynamic of this fight. With Brian Norman being the physical specimen, though we know Devin Haney has been a quote-unquote weight bully, as he's been called multiple times before, the brother still, and we do mean still, is a cat who he can box his butt off with anybody, no matter who, no matter when, no matter where. But it's because of that size aspect that's been able to make him be what he needs to be, do what he needs to do. Shoot, the brother was almost as big as Ryan Garcia when Ryan Garcia came in overweight on and out of the fight. So this is, I'm telling you, he can get, with everything, all skills that he has, he can get nullified if he cannot control the physical landscape of this fight. So there is a cause from the standpoint of, if people don't know who Brian Norman is, if he wins this fight, for them it's going to be upset. For us, it's going to be, we saw this coming. That will put him on the pedestal of, okay, yeah, this cat's going, not just going places, but he's here. He's at the place of reigning at the throne and being one of the biggest names in the sport. And oh boy, we can't wait to see if that indeed comes to fruition. Absolutely. But again, we still have so much to come. And we're still going to break down all the fights in more detail. Absolutely. But I still want to get your thoughts and opinions on what you all have to say in part of it all. And also, let me see real quick. Going back to, I have Norman, Haney looks like he has Haney shook. Let's address that, shall we? I feel like we need to address it because here's the thing. Here is the real meat and potatoes when it comes to this specific fight. Fear. I have been saying it all month or couple months just to build up some level of intrigue. Fear is a legitimate wherewithal that Devin Haney has got to get over. Because I truly don't know if this cat is over Ryan Garcia. I don't. Looks like he had him shook. The brother was on stage bouncing and bobbing and weaving from the standpoint of, we've seen him go against people, especially people that he don't like. He ain't had to jump. He ain't had to move. Now, I'm not a body language expert. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh my gosh, this is the end of the road. Up, he's already shot. Up, he's gone. That's it. Fight's over already before it begins. But what we have seen is a brother who sometimes, like we said before, taking Frank Martin, the flinch that told the story. We could use a couple of other examples also last week, or this week, excuse me, to go through in part to tell the story of how sometimes what you see in person is what you're going to get in reality in the fight. And with this type of situation, going off of what we know Devin Haney has had issues with, but if he's going to be bouncing around like that also in the ring, yeah, we can see this man really forget all the talk of I'm going to come forward, forget all the talk of I'm going to come through and be diligent and aggressive. Might not be. The brother could legitimately get on his bike. And when I say get on his bike, I'm not saying he's going to run. But I am saying he ain't going to look to engage. He ain't. I don't care what the muscles may look like. I don't care what the physique of the likes of Devin Haney may seem to be. I don't care how much of a body he looks to have now at 147. Oh, yeah, he looks good. Yes, he looks big. Yes, he still is coming in weight, outweighing Devin Haney. When it came to the official weigh-ins that happened a couple hours before the now ceremonial weigh-ins, when he came in 146.6, Norman came in 146.1. I believe roughly around those numbers. So, I don't care if he is bigger. I don't care if he seems strong. I don't care if he looks like an Adonis. All of that means nothing because of what the pattern of Devin Haney has been over the course of his entire career. Outside of Regis Prograis, the brother ain't got popped like that to show, okay, yeah, he's going to respect. He ain't. Now, we can delve into the issues that Devin Haney may have of trying to catch Devin Haney. Utilizing, even though he's got good feet, can he really keep up with and corner the technical ability and the movement of somebody with Devin Haney? We can get into that. We will. The biggest thing is, don't let the facade skew you from what the reality of the situation has been over the course of the entirety of these people's careers, specifically Devin Haney. Do not act like this man's going to be a stinking steamroller. He's going to frustrate, he's going to aim to get Norman annoyed and frustrated because he's going to not engage. And if he does engage, I'll be shocked. But it most likely won't end well. And he won't be engaging for long. I guarantee you. I can definitively say that. Let me see. Devin Haney or David Benavidez looks drained to me. We're going to see weigh-in wise what he looks like here. We is. I can't wait to see him on the scale fully once he goes out for this ceremonial weigh-in. We're going to see what he looks like. Now, hopefully that's not the case. But hopefully, good brother, he felt like he's only been 2 fights up there. And I believe pre this weigh-in, he had already made weight officially. So, hey, might not be an issue by the time he gets into the ring. He has been saying he's trained harder for this fight than any other fight in his career. Even harder than David Morrell. Even harder than Boo Boo Andre. Even harder than all of them. So, could potentially be Ye's weight train. Could be just because he's really cutting. And this is just a good physique for him. But we're normally seeing him outside of the Morrell fight. Normally we don't see that but a cut up with abs or cut up at all. Don't mean that he ain't fit. Don't mean that. But you know what I'm saying. But we're going to find out when he steps on the scale on today, or rather in a couple minutes. Actually, let's see. Brian Norman is going to showcase his skills in this fight. Norman feints will be key. I can see the uppercut being the shot that ends the fight. So, Hey, let's do our due diligence and let's start breaking down the fight as a whole, shall we? Let me make sure I got this thing correct first and foremost. I want to make sure also we got everything spelled right on these titles. I did it before, but I'm just trying. I'm just a stickler for going back over and making sure I got my stuff right. There we go. Okay, yeah. So now, hey, let's do what we do best. Let's jump into the fights. We done all the preamble. Let's break it down, shall we? This is the right thing, right? Let me make sure this is the right title. Here's the right title. There we go. Okay, yeah, it's the right title. Here we go. All right, come on. Come on now. There we go. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's start breaking down the fights officially. We got our rumors, we got our sentiments, we got our concerns. As we see what Ahmed wrote, the feints are going to be key, and the things in light of what he can do to help bait out something or make Haney uneasy are going to be the biggest factor, as well as his boxing skills can potentially take day. Oh yeah, we've had a lot of opinions about who's going to win this fight in particular, who's going to be in the midst of the victor when this war all comes to an end. Will it be a car crash? Will it be a situation where it's Devin Haney is going to be actually on a different level? And for against all of our eyes, this man's boxing ability, yeah, it's enough to really take the day. And he is what we thought he was, or rather what we thought he had lost post Ryan Garcia. From the standpoint of, okay, this man still is a technical wizard. This man still is a head and shoulders above most of the people in his division when it comes to the boxing talent and the tangible IQ of a fighter. Would it all be the case? We don't know. But hey, let's break it down, shall we? Let's jump into this fight. How in the world do we see this fight going, and what's going to take place, and how each of them can win? Well, if we look at Devin Haney, like we've been saying, the biggest concern is the power. Can he take the power? Is he scared of the power? Will he even want to go into this fight to fight like the normal Haney of old? The Haney that was undisputed. The Haney that was seen as pound for pound one of the best in the world. The Haney that had boxed and beat, even though I feel Lomachenko should have won. The Haney that won against the likes of Lomachenko to get his undisputed title, or rather to retain him. This man is indeed on the precipice of a very shifting arc in his career. If he loses this fight, oh, it's going to be a nightmare. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord, what's on the line for his star power is in dire jeopardy. Because if he loses, the pull that he has is strictly, again, in part because of that zero, but also is in part because people just don't want to see him get beat up. We've been saying that for months. People just want to see Devin Haney get beat up. People don't like him. He's been embracing the role of the villain. The fans, a lot of fans are against him. A lot of fans, pillow-fisted, boring, runner, all this stuff. It's going to be bad. From the standpoint of the heaps of ire that's going to be built on him if he does indeed lose this fight. Brian Norman, if he does lose, he'll be back in the line, but he's got room to come through and come back, absolutely. But even still, it's going to put his boxing skills into question of whether or not he actually is built to be this type of Terminator in this division. Absolutely. Now, who's got more to lose in this situation? Well, Brian Norman because he's got the title, but Devin Haney because of the longevity of his cachet could indeed go into the dirt, especially if with the performance of almost back-to-back dominance. Ryan Garcia and then Brian Norman, 2 of his last 3 fights, so absolutely he got done in every way. If that is the case, oh gosh, that'd be bad. But with the ramifications out the way, what can he do? Well, if we're looking at Devin Haney first and foremost, what Devin Haney's going to have to do most likely in this fight, as we're breaking down his tactics to win, number one, the man is going to have to be ready to use his jab in a multiplicity of ways. Now, that sounds cliche and normal, but again, that's the biggest thing that he's built off of. His jab is everything. His jab is his very base of offense. The movement makes him hard to hit, and the jab is what scores. He's a point getter. I don't say it in a bad way, but he's a point getter. He's a pop shotter. He's a man who with the speed and his length, as well as his, again, insane athletic ability, but also just physique as a whole, makes it so that he controlling the distance is what makes everybody hate fighting him, because you can't get to him. And if you do get to him, he knows how to get out of the way. Has to make sure his jab does not get nullified. Because if that goes, most of that stuff goes along with it. On top of that, he's got to also be sure that when it comes to moving his feet, he cannot get too predictable. He can't. We talk about Brian Norman. We don't get into the good feet, great feet conversation, but we also got to understand this is a brother who, when it comes to him fighting, he's got to have the ability to track you down. That is true. Norman's whole basis is, I'm trying to knock you out. Haney, I got to stay away. Understandable. But in Haney's movement, he can get too predictable. He can get to a point where all of a sudden, okay, somebody with good feet that knows where you're going to go, and when you're trying to get there, all of a sudden, they're beating you there. More consistent, even if you're faster than them. You got to keep yourself at a point where you are not hard you are hard to read as well as hard to react to. But if your feet become stale, I don't care how quick they are, it's going to be a bad night. It's going to be a long night. Absolutely. You got to make sure you keep that up. As well as you have to be sure that you, not just, again, with all the technique and stuff, using your speed to be able to beat Norman to the punch, being sure that you get out the way, the bow and arrow effect and all that stuff that we talked about before, all that's well and good. Bigger than all of that, you have to trust, to some degree, your ability to go and take chances if you're Devin Haney. Because if you do not, there's no way you can win this fight. There is none. There is none. I repeat, there is none. None whatsoever. Not a chance. Not a chance. If you don't trust your ability to be able to stand in the pocket at times and score, to take some risk and take some opportunity to go through and say, okay, I'm going to land something or attempt to land something significant, and you be uber defensive, you're going to lose. You can't have that happen. You cannot. In the slightest. There has to be a switch that lets you be who we've seen you as in the past. We're saying you're a perfect fighter, but we're saying you're a better fighter than what we've seen against Ramirez. And if you show what you showed against Ramirez, because you are so afraid to engage, you're going to be put in a situation where there is no hope. There is no ability. There is no technical efficiency that can come through and help you to make this thing possible. None. Not a chance in the world. And that is based off of, for Haney, what would be the X factor of this fight? And that is your mental state. We've been saying that all day, all week, all month, but now it's do or die now. You got to be right up here. I sound like a broken clock. Guess what? This broken clock is right twice a day. And on this case scenario, it's right in the situation. Everything I said previously, the four big things that you need to do, you can't do unless you go through and you trust yourself. And you beat whatever ball and chain is holding you back from being able to fight like you need to fight in every regard, and more specifically, the fear of getting caught, and the fear of set danger, the fear of you being put in a situation where you are in, you're out of it. You don't want to be there, and you got to go get it. Against Brian Norman, you can box the kingdom come, absolutely. You got to go get it. You got to go get this. Even if you're trying to outbox him, which we know you can, we know you have that ability, but you have to go get it. You got to strive. You can't just be doing just the bare minimum. Because if you do, you're going to be out the pasture. But it's got to start up here. Your mental state has to be in line with the faith that you have in your abilities. And you got to be saying, even if I get caught, that's fine. I'm going to do not just what I need to do, but I'm going to do everything I can do to get this win, get this victory, and to show the world I'm like that. For real. That's what you're going to have to do. And that's the X factor for Devin Haney. It is the mental game. Regardless of what I say, this up here is the mental aspect that's going to make or break this entire fight. It ain't about break more than Brian Norman's power, more than Brian Norman and his footwork, more than Brian Norman and the feints that he can use. The jab, the boxing, the underrated boxing ability that Norman has in this fight that Devin Haney might get surprised by. More than all of that, if Haney is still locked in the mindset of Ryan Garcia, he is going to lose. If he's still locked in the mindset of Jose Ramirez, he is going to lose. If he's still stuck in time, where that is the main course of his concern, where he is afraid of what can come back at him. He is afraid of the manner in which he can get put to sleep. He is afraid of even the chance that he can get caught again. Brother's going to be up a creek. It's going to be up a creek. I'm not calling him a coward. I'm not calling him fearful. I'm not saying he has no spine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when he gets into the fight and if he freezes up in any regard, because flashbacks of the past, the ghost of performances past, come through and cause this brother to go and get PTSD. You see the internal struggles start to happen. The game plan changes. The body language changes. The fight itself starts to shift because of that. He's done. But if he does keep himself in line, if he does get his mind where it needs to be, he can get a win and box to a unanimous decision. He can. He really can. Because he can be that good. But up here is where it starts. And will it start up here? We don't know. That's the biggest thing. Now on the side of Brian Norman Jr., as we're going through on the docket, if we're going in the words of Brian Norman Jr., now Norman, the mentality I'm not concerned with. And just like I said with Devin Haney, the biggest concern that he needs to figure out, one, is how do you deal with that movement? How do you make sure that you don't get yourself to where you're just chasing instead of stalking? How do you get it yourself so that you're not just going around same circle, be able to beat him to the spot? And that's anticipation. Be able to go through and read not just the tendencies, but force Haney where you want him to go by punching to where you don't want him to go. Cutting off angles. In the past, Canelo used to do it. But even still, other fighters do it as well. You see him going away, you jab and cut off the thing. You hook to the side that they're trying to run to. You attack the body as well. Stop that movement. Stop that. What people are going to call running. Stop one of the best weapons of Devin Haney, which is the legs. When Lomachenko stopped the ability of Devin Haney to be able to skirt and move around the ring, that's when he started to gain some real ground. And Haney was losing that fight in the second half of the fight because all of a sudden he could not keep him at bay and he couldn't escape. And now he got to dig. And that's the second thing. Force Haney to dig. Force him to dig. When he gets in trouble, when Haney gets in trouble, he will go through and attempt to fight his way out. I'll give credit to that. He will. But at the same time, he will have to, when he does that, most likely that's supposed to be getting near the end. Again, Ryan Garcia, perfect example. Fighting his way out is something he's willing to do if necessary. But it's not something that he wants to do. And it definitely ain't something that is going to, and honestly, be the best thing for him, especially in this fight. But if he's got to be forced into that framework, that's where you want him to be. Make it so that his only option is that he's got to brawl with you. And if you can do that, well, you won half the battle. You really have. Well, cut off the feet, punch where he's going to go through, cut off angles by being in an attacking mode, which he always is, and flood the basement. Go downstairs to the body. Weaken that stuff so that in the later stages of the fight, you can go and you can slow him down to the point that now, again, you put him in this situation that you want him to be, where he's got to go and he's got to fight. And as Armin Roder brought up, use those feints. Make it with the understanding that Devin Haney still may have some overarching concern from the world of what he dealt with when it came to Ryan Garcia. Bait him, feint him, jump at him, use those foot feints, jab feints, get him to bite, make yourself unpredictable. Make yourself unpredictable to get in range. Make him jumpy. As much all that movement, that stuff he was doing on stage when he was trying to go through and stand up in front of you, all of that, make him do that in the ring because he's trying to anticipate every little thing. Get him to bite. Make him mentally taxed. Because again, up here's the biggest battle. Make him mentally taxed. Mentally fatigue him. Take him down. You can break somebody down even without touching them. If you can make them overloaded in how they have to think about the fight. Not just because everything's coming their way, but you hone in on what? Their fear. That it comes up again. It came up again. The fear. It came up again. Hone in on their fear. Make their fear their biggest pitfall. The wariness. Because you are the boogeyman. Use that. You are the monster under the bed in this fight. You are the calamity waiting to happen against your opponent. Use that. Make him fearful of that. Make him anxious to throw. Turn his body into a out of control weapon. And by that I mean, make it so that he's so antsy. He starts doing stuff out the norm. He starts punching because he sees a ghost in the ring. Something ain't even coming there, but guess what? He thinks it is. He's angling out and he's moving around and ain't not even coming his way. Because you've gotten him up here yet again. So them feints, man, they can help you out in wonders. And the biggest thing, and this is going to be crazy, win the jab battle. Now, people don't expect, hey, land that left hook. People normally expect, oh, he's going to say go through and try to land the power. Win the jab battle. Win the distance game. And you win this fight. You beat Devin Haney at distance. You counter him. You score on him. You make it so that every time he throws, you're either trading with him or you nullify and block it. Even better, you land something of your own. Consistently. At least even if it's at an even playing field. Where both of y'all are having similar numbers and similar success when it comes to jabbing. That's a loss for Devin Haney. That's a lot. Also, if you're watching the press conference or if you're watching the standoffs right now, Benavidez and Martinez. Hey, brother, you already tried to grab the belt the first time. Now Martinez trying to get in his face, getting held back. Bam's looking cool and confident, but boy, hey, Martinez, you better be careful. Martinez, you better be careful. You doing all that rah-rah. Martinez better be careful, boy. Because he don't know what he's getting into. He's trying to have that bravado. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, man. But back to the comment at hand. You win that. You cancel him out at minimum. Like I said before, Devin Haney has nothing left. Not a thing left. And then all you gotta do is be smart, tactical, and break him down. My best bet, if I was Brian Norman, hey, look to trade with everything. Is it reckless? Yeah, but because we don't think he has nearly as much power, and also because we know that you are a better finisher and, my opinion, a better fighter than Ryan Garcia, even though you might not be as fast, there is an understood notion that within range, especially with you being able to block and parry stuff, you can create openings. You can create opportunities. You can create ways where your distance doesn't have to be as hard to work with in order to get where you want to be. You got some tools beyond just speed, which is what made Ryan Garcia's fight against Haney so successful. You got more tools than that to be able to go and turn this into, when I'm in range, I'm going to connect and there's nothing you can do. Telling you. There's some ways. One of them might just be an overhand left that we see Devin Haney try to throw. He tried to throw that against Kambosos and he got countered with the 1-2. Now Kambosos ain't got no pop either. But he was able to catch Devin Haney good couple times when he tried to throw that. If that happens again, that's an opportunity. As well as some other selective punches that we see Devin Haney have times where he loops around with, where he can get caught. But those are the four things that we can see happen to turn this fight to Brian Norman's favor. Now, who I have winning in this fight is indeed Brian Norman. I gotta win. I gotta win it by knockout. I do. I truly do. I truly gotta win it by knockout. Because I see this brother going through and being able not just to do all those other things, but when Devin fights against him, that hand speed specifically is going to be a thing that's going to surprise Devin Haney, I truly believe. Brian Norman absolutely is gonna have to adjust to, so I can say whatever I want. I can say what I want about Devin Haney. The brother, he quit. He quick. He is quick. And he got some snap on his shots. He'll take a lot of people by surprise. Because I'm saying, I took people by surprise when I saw it against Ramirez. Now, the shock and gap in speed, yeah, that helped. But in general, I ain't quick. He quick. I got to give him that. But at the same breath, Norman, while may not be as fast, he's quicker than you may expect. He's more reactionary than you may expect, in a good way. He's more explosive than you may think, in a good way. And he can come through and shock Devin Haney with, oh wait, I thought he couldn't reach me here. I thought he wouldn't be able to time me here. I thought he wouldn't be able to get over my shot here. Because I know what I saw, but you didn't know what you felt. up until you're in the ring. And that, I think, is going to be the biggest difference maker. Beyond just the mental aspect. Haney's jab getting nullified, and the speed of Brian Norman being something that is underrated on the side of Devin Haney. That keep taking back. And everything round by round starts to get stripped away. All of a sudden, cutting off angles is working more and more. All of a sudden, you got to work harder. Not just to gain distance, but to actually score. If you're Devin Haney. Then your jab starts to get countered. Then after that, the straight right that you love to throw. That starts getting countered and or blocked as a whole. Next thing you know, you're in the corner, you're trying to clinch up, and then you get shoved back. You get walked back into the ropes. You try to clinch Brian Norman Jr. like we've seen with some of these other fighters, like with Ben Rodriguez, like with Devin Haney, not Devin Haney, like with David Benavidez. You'll go through, and he'll punch his way out. Bing, bang, boom, but it's done. Everything starts going downhill, and everything starts getting picked apart because the physicality and the mental toll starts to take a toll on Devin Haney. After that, everything goes out the window. And next thing you know, we have and still reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world, Brian Norman Jr. reigns supreme yet again in what would be the biggest win of his career. Most likely ending in a unanimous decision. I'm picking a knockout. But because we know Devin Haney will indeed get up if he does get knocked down, I'm not going to rule out a unanimous decision because of due to multiple knockdowns. But, yeah, that's what I got. And I got a sneaky suspicion that it's going to be true. Because I don't think when it comes to Brian Norman, when it comes to Bill Haney, when it comes to Devin Haney, what he's been propagating against them and what they have shown as this fight has continued to morph more and more and more, get closer and closer, I do think that Haney might be a little bit antsy. Haney might be a little bit antsy. He might just be a little bit. I'm not calling him scared. I'm not calling him fearful. But I think he's starting to get what he's dealing with now. Especially face to face. That bravado, that authenticity of Brian Norman. What they thought he was just trying to act hard, act tough. No. Mentally, he's built in a way that you've never faced against any of your other opponents. Physically, he's also built in a way that you ain't faced off against with other your opponents, except for Ryan Garcia. And talent-wise, he's got the best aspects of some of your best opponents and very few of the worst aspects of your opponents. So it's going to be stressful. It's going to be something. It's going to be serious. I can't wait, but I got Brian Norman by KO. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my prediction. Hopefully you like that. I can't wait to hear what you have to say on the matter. Real quick, I'm trying to make sure that my stream is up to snuff, so we ain't got nothing, ain't having nothing lost in the sauce when it comes to us getting this thing done right. But yeah, but that's my prediction, Todd. And I'm with it. And right now we got Brian Norman and Devin Haney walking out to the ring right here, right now, in front of us. We're going to see them face to face again. We're going to see the physiques. We're going to see the body, and we're going to see the ability. Understand? But again, the last kind of mental hurdle that they're both dealing with against each other. Again, the battle one before the fight. The fight before the fight, as most often is called. Against Watch Boxing Games, 90% mental, 10% physical. We understand that if you beat your opponent up here, in the head, in their heart, in their soul, you have won most of the battle. Then just about execution. We're going to see how they feel when they go against each other right here in the weigh-in. And boy, I can't wait to see how this goes. We might actually have them popping off, potentially, hypothetically. We could. But I do want to hear your thoughts and opinions on what you feel about how this fight's going to go before I go into the And you break it down, Devin Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde and Ben Rodriguez and the other fights on this card. Absolutely, because it is going to be, no question, action-packed and complete. I mean, completely off the chain. And what is most likely the best? I would say this is most likely the best card of the year. I would. I'm not gonna lie, and that's not me trying to be. Well, I ain't getting paid by nobody either. I ain't getting paid by nobody, at least on the ring. But this is most likely going to be the best card of the year. This is most likely going to be a card. This most likely will be the card that kind of sends a bunch of ripple effects throughout the boxing world as a whole, across divisions, as a result of what's going to go down. No question. At least in my opinion. So, it's going to be interesting. Also, before we get into the other predictions and conversation, don't forget, wait a minute, hold on, they face nothing against each other. And now, now we can see the real size difference. Okay, so yeah, Haney is taller. We're looking at sizes right now. They're face to face with each other. Haney ain't dancing around no more. All right, he ain't bobbing and weaving no more. Okay, all right. Wait a second now. Locking in eye to eye. Going face to face. Literally nose to nose at this point in time. Ain't nobody moved. Ain't nobody said a word. None of that. None of everything. Everything. I'm gonna say this. Everything that we saw yesterday, from the standpoint of the body language. If we want to go that route, then they did them. They still stand. Good gosh, wait a minute. Hold on. They ain't moved yet. Wait a minute. Hold up a second. Oh shoot. Oh, they're not turning. Oh, wait a minute. They ain't turning. Wait a second. Oh, shoot. They legit. They ain't moving. It's starting to be, hey. This is starting to feel like Tyson. Remember Tyson Fury and Usyk? Y'all remember that? If you remember that stare down, 15 minutes. They both stood at each other. And they moved. Who is it? Glazer, whoever it was in front of them? They ain't turning. They still ain't turning. They tried to get us. They still ain't turning. Forget the camera. Forget posing. They have not turned their head yet. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, this is gonna be good. Oh, this is gonna be good. Okay. All right. Okay. That. Hey. We were saying we didn't know where Haney's head was. My gosh. Can't say that now from the standpoint of dedication. Oh, shoot. Brother. Oh, my gosh. No, that was great. That's the coming event. See, and this is why that fight's a fight of the night. This is why that fight's fight of the night. Because, oh, man. Because it's shoot, man. These folks really stayed there about 6 minutes. Absolute animosity. This is a real grudge match. This is a real grudge match. This is, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This is going to be good. I'm sorry, I'm geeking out. My apologies. It's going to be good. This is going to be good. Good. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh. But we still got a show to do. My apologies. We still got a show to do. Real quick before I go into the rest of the breakdown in conversation. Before I do, if you haven't heard already, from the world of the Ring Magazine and from the world of, I think it was El Azteca, if I have my news source correct, Terrence Crawford and Kendall Alvarez are getting ready to they're negotiating for a rematch right now. If you did not know, if you were unaware, at this point in time, they're posed for a rematch with each other, or they're in talks of negotiating a rematch with each other for the super middleweight belts. Now, we've again covering how Canelo and how Terrence Crawford and Janabek Ali Muhammad, current middleweight champion, fighting for the unified titles against Arizona Lara. They were in talks of once you get that win, Crawford's going to come down there immediately. However, now we could be seeing that potentially next year, but sometime next year, but I would assume, April, May, we could see Crawford get back in the ring against Canelo for a second time in a row. Now, we may have said we didn't need to see that fight happen again. Understandable. However, we also have to understand that Canelo does deserve a rematch, regardless of whether or not it was a close affair the first time, strictly off the fact that the man was running that division for Lord knows how long. Lord knows, forget the sport, specifically the division. Ran that for who knows how long. I get that, he would be given a rematch. I get that he would deserve a rematch. Now, will it be he retools and regroups? We don't know. Also, you got to understand that this brother also has never, anybody who's beaten him up until this point, I don't believe he rematched him. Bivol was going to rematch him, but he said, let me fight you at 168 and not at 175 because I want to take your belts. Canelo said nah. But he still said he wanted to get that fight and get the heavyweight titles from Bivol, but never got the rematch at 175. Floyd Mayweather beat him and then moved on, never rematched him after he beat him, but again, he beat him definitively. And then, who was it though? Now, Terrence Crawford beat him better than I think anybody else has beat Canelo Alvarez. And this is the first brother who, if he does accept it, he would have actually rematched Canelo. The only other person who's rematched him that's given him a tough test or arguably beat him was Gennady Golovkin. And he fought him 3 times. So, if you want to count that. But beyond that, normally it's one and done. So this would be, if he beat Canelo twice in a row, that would be something special. I'm not going to lie. Would Canelo be able to regroup? We don't know. Does he deserve a rematch? Yeah. I'm not going to be like, nah, he doesn't deserve one. I'm not. Especially with the likes of Christian and Billy and Martinez fighting to a draw, which would have been whoever won completely took the interim titles to be completely up there in line to go and win a championship and to fight the winner of Crawford and Canelo. But with this type of situation, especially from a business perspective, financial standpoint, hey, I get it. I understand. Yeah, they get the rematch. No issue there. And if it does happen, great. Whoop-de-doo. Love it. Can't wait to see it. No question. But back to the topic at hand. What the fight that we're all waiting to see. Benavidez and Yarde and Brian Norman and Devin Haney. We covered Brian Norman and Haney. As you see, I said Brian Norman's gonna win by KO or by unanimous decision due to multiple knockdowns. I gave my thoughts on what he needed to do, honing on the mental inadequacies of the PTSD of Devin Haney. Make him fearful like he was against Ryan Garcia. Bring back the ability to make Haney freeze up with feints and with the threat of power. Walk him down and be able to track him, not chase him. Track, not chase. And also be sure that you flood that basement and do not let yourself just become a headhunter. When you're dealing with the mover of the caliber of Devin Haney, you have to attack down low. Stop that level of movement so that even if it's close or even if you're behind, by the time the second half of the fight comes around, guess what? Now you're able to work like you want to work. And Devin Haney's going to be forced to fight. If that happens, well, everything goes out the window. And everything shifts and changes. Absolutely. No question. So I got Brian Norman winning by knockout. But let me see what you all have to say on the day. Norman will get the finish. I think so as well. I truly do. I think he's going to get the finish. Norman got in his head. Now I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say this. That face-off, that was something serious. That face-off, that was something impressive. That face-off, that looked like a little bit of the Haney that I wanted to see. There's some animosity there. There's some, I'm not a body language expert. I'm not going to act like I know everything. I'm not going to act like I'm able to read into the psyche of minds. I'm not going to do that. Something's on my face. I don't know what it is. But regardless of which, but even still, but that Haney looked a little bit perturbed. angry, mad, upset. But it looked like, at least in that perspective, he is fighting for something to prove. He's got something. Will it happen? Will he actually prove it? We don't know. We don't know. Still don't trust his power at all. I still think he can be physically controlled by somebody that is actually good at using his physical traits, i.e. Ryan Garcia and i.e. Brian Norman. Shoot, Lomachenko, when he was able to get on the inside and make it so that Devin Haney could not escape, all of a sudden the physicality went into Lomachenko's favor. Devin Haney, I've said it before, he does not do good working with folks that can dominate him in the same way that he's dominated other people. Because this man has been able to come into fights 160, 180, 190, however big he may be. Again, he's outweighing Brian Norman Jr. right now. I don't know how big this cat is actually at. He's got a body that looks like it can belong at 160. Or at least 154. Seemingly making it every single time I see him move up, he looks like he's getting more filled out and looks better from the standpoint of, oh, this is where you should be. No, this is where you should be. No, this is where you should. Shoot, I wouldn't be surprised if he can fight at one. If he can fight at light heavyweight, from the standpoint of how much he can balloon up. I told y'all he's a big kid. But when it comes to controlling power, I don't know if he's got that. I don't know if he's got that. I don't know if he's got that at all. And that's where I'm saying Norman's going to start taking really taking control. Really taking control. Now on the side of Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, as we continue to break down all of these fights going into this weekend. And again, I want to hear from you all. Still want to hear your comments and opinions, your thoughts on the whole of this conversation, because I do want to know what you all think about it all. But in terms of Benavidez and Yarde, hey, as we break down the fight, again, Yarde is at his third attempt at a world championship caliber opponent. First it was Kovalev, then it was Benavidez, and now it's David Benavidez. Has Yarde looked better every time? Yes. Has Yarde also looked like he's stagnated at this point in time, especially against the likes of Lyndon Arthur? Yes. So I don't know if this brother's going to actually be able to improve going up against the likes of Benavidez, who has constantly gotten better and better and better every time out. I don't know. Really don't know. We're dealing with a man who genuinely, every time I see him go through and adapt his style, he's become more well-rounded. At this point in time, this Benavidez, like I said before, clears the Benavidez at 168. Clears him. Goes through and it's night and day. It's not even close. The biggest thing that's changed is the lack of power. Now, the lack of power can be a situation where bigger durability, more weight to be able to absorb it in terms of his opponents. Understandable. Everything else, though, the defense, the head movement, the footwork, the jab, more specifically, the straight shots, the slips, the combination punching, the IQ, the ring generalship, the countering ability. Everything has gotten better for David Benavidez. Up to a level that I think Anthony Yarde really doesn't have a chance. Now that doesn't mean it's not going to be a good fight. Be clear. That don't mean it ain't going to be a good fight. That does not mean it's going to be a good fight. It is going to be a good fight. That doesn't mean that this fight's going to be just a one-sided affair. Now, even though it could, it's going to be a good fight. It will. But, and also, looking at David Benavidez right now, didn't necessarily look weight drained on the scales. Looked like he was pretty decent and good and ready to go. I can imagine once he gets back into the weight, like he said before, once I think about how I'm going to be when I rehydrate to 190 on the night of the fight, he said it himself behind the stage, which, again, is insane. His body can do that. It's ridiculous. Which is why he said in a couple months to a year, he's going to be moving up to cruiserweight. But even still, I can imagine he'll be just fine athletically and won't have any concerns. But as a fighter, even at 175, yeah, he clears Yarde in every way, just about. And like I've said, it's been a broken record, but it's not because I'm just trying to repeat the same stuff. It's because it's real. Benavidez, from the standpoint of improvement compared to Anthony Yarde, has gotten to a level of deserving to be seen as one of the 3 best light heavyweights in the world. Pound for pound, arguably number 8 to number 10, wherever you want to put him, and deservedly so, only working his way up. But when we're looking at Anthony Yarde, with as much as he's been in the title picture, there's been too much volatility with his own ability to go through and work and adapt and move and change, especially from his trainer, which again, I do not like that brother. I don't like that brother. I don't like that brother at all. The brother who's training, I forget his name, but the brother who's training Anthony Yarde, you are going to put this man in a bad state. Because it don't look like you are teaching him anything of note to get him where he needs to be, get him where he wants to be. Don't look like it at all. My gosh, it's a concern. It's a bad concern to that. And you bringing that same mentality as a coach going into this fight, bad. Bad as can be. Bad as all get out. You dealing with a situation where I'm not gonna lie. There has not been a fight at light heavyweight where we have seen Benavidez, and when I say decimate, we haven't seen him decimate at this division. We've seen him dominate, win fights cleanly and handily by a wide margin. Because again, he's a better fighter now than he was at 168. But from a damage perspective, he hasn't been nearly the same as he was at 168. We understand that. This could be the fight because of Anthony Yarde, and more specifically because of his training, that we could see that final bludgeoning effect finally actually show up. Because I don't think if Yarde gets in trouble, I don't think his coach going to tell him how to change. I don't think he's going to change once he starts getting touched up and beaten. I don't think so. He's going to keep on getting caught. Because see, against better BF, both of them were in close range with each other, absolutely. And trading shots and doing great performance, no question. We never disrespect it. But doing that against a lanky fighter like Benavidez, you're going to miss shots that are going to open you up just to get pummeled. And I don't think he's going to change from that. I don't think he's going to change. Now, he can't catch Benavidez, absolutely. He can catch him with a hook. He can catch him with a straight right like David Morrell. He can catch him with a potential sneaky uppercut that causes the rock. He can be wobbled. This is the most dangerous opponent Benavidez has faced at 175. There's no question about that. We understand the risk. We understand that this is one of the best knockout artists that we have at this division, who has earned the right to be in title contention for multiple years. No question. As a straight up talent, he's one of the best in the game, and Anthony Yarde at light heavyweight. I'm not going to go against that. But even with that, I'm not going to say that he's going to be able to do, it ain't going to, I'm not going to say he's going to be able to do anything that's going to be worth his time. When it comes down to, hey, brother, you in trouble going up against Benavidez. I don't think so. I truly don't think so. It's going to be bad. It's really going to be bad. So I think Benavidez is going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. He's going to be able to dominate and decimate. With that jab, with that defense, make a miss, as well as continue to refine his offensive and defensive blended game. Most specifically with that jab, he's going to be able to control and dominate. And next thing you know, it's going to be a one-sided affair. It's going to turn into a one-sided affair due to his ability. Now, initially I said it wasn't going to, I'm not saying it's going to be that, but I'm saying it's going to turn into that as the fight goes on. Because Benavidez is something different, boy. He's something different. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets rocked in this fight against Yarde, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he wins by unanimous decision. That's what I'm picking. Benavidez by unanimous decision. And I think it's going to be the best performance that he has. I truly do. At least that's my prediction for that fight. Yarde versus Benavidez, and Benavidez weight drain, and it could be in trouble. But on the scale, he didn't look weight drain. Look pretty healthy. I'm not going to lie. On the scale going up against Anthony Yarde face to face. And rehydration, I think he's going to be just fine. Do you think it affects his performance against Yarde? If he is weight drained, yeah, I do. I don't think he is. He doesn't look it on, to me, he didn't look it on stage. And tomorrow night, I think you're going to see, okay, yeah, this boy looks fine. If he gets rocked and he is weight trained, yeah, it can be bad. But I don't think it's going to be the case. Let me see. Yo, MS, what's going on with it? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in the show. If you haven't already, leave a like on the stream. Get the likes up. Share the show with everybody you know. Keep on telling everybody what you got going on. I want to hear your thoughts and predictions. It's still the championship rounds, don't forget. So you want to hear everything that you all have to say on the matter. Tell you what we see and heard for the world to enjoy and for the world to act to conversate with. Be a part of the conversation. And hey, if you want to support the channel, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below. Or Super Chats, stickers, whatever the word these things are. We're still trying to figure out how all this stuff works. But if you want to give anything we'll do, support the channel, help us to invest back into the show, help makes everything better. So hey, we appreciate it so much. But let me see. Breaking news. Benavidez already has next fight signed with Golden Boy Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. So, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Is this real? Is this legit? If this is true, breaking news. Here first, Benavidez already signed his fight with Golden Boy Zurdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. Cinco de Mayo or May 5th. Looking to become 3-time undisputed in 3 weight classes by the time he fights the winner of trilogy of Bivol Beterbiev in September. Card is on PBC. Hold on. If this is true, you mean to tell me this man has already got a deal in the works with Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya and them, to come through? And if he wins this fight and gets his undisputed belts against either Bivol or Beterbiev, then go through immediately and already have an opportunity to fight against the likes of Zurdo, guaranteed? Well, if that's the case, shoot. Hey, we talk about pound. If this is indeed true, we talk about pound for pound. If in a year's run he beats Yarde, Bivol and or Beterbiev, becoming undisputed and then going through and beat Zurdo Ramirez in his first fight at cruiserweight for the title, that's with off the backs of what he already did at 168 with his domination. Yeah, that's top 3. That's top 3 level greatness. That's top 3 level greatness. That's what that is. I'm not even that is top 3 level greatness. That's top 3 pound for pound level greatness. Top 3 or 4. If he did that, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. That's preposterous. I don't think y'all get that. This man, if this is true, MS, thank you for bringing the news to us. If this is true, hey, I appreciate you breaking it to us first. This is phenomenal. If this comes out to be true, this man would have gone through David Morrell, Anthony Yarde, either Bivol or Beterbiev. Hypothetically, if the goal is for undisputed, potentially having to go through both, then afterwards, move up immediately, and in his first fight, fights what's considered the second or outright best cruiserweight in the world in Zurdo Ramirez. Same buddy who Jaya Fatai has been trying to fight against for the longest time. And you beat him to take his belt. Oh my gosh. Let alone afterwards, you go and you use that fight and you win that fight. You go through and you beat Jaya Fatai as well to fully become undisputed. Because again, Jaya's got one of the belts. What? What? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? What? Hey, I'm going to tell you something right now. The legacy of Canelo Alvarez has been insane and is set in stone and cannot be diminished. But if he did this stuff this quick, from here to cruiserweight, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to say that he's catching up. I'm going to say that he's catching up. With the volatility at which he's going through right now, I would have had to say, hey, buddy, Benavidez, We got to start. If this off of this foundation, from this point on, hey, there's a real opportunity. This man can. Woo! We gotta have some talks, boy. That would, oh gosh, that would be insane. That would be insane. That would be ridiculous. Listen, my buddy has the contracts at PBC. Again, if this is true, I appreciate you breaking it to us first. Because that brings a whole new can of worms of what type of performance we want to see from Benavidez. If this is the plan and this is the goal of what Benavidez is trying to do, good gosh. I'm not going to lie, and I don't say this in a bad, negative light, but is he looking too far down the line, going against the likes of, or already looking at Zerto? With Yarde, who is a really game. Now, I'm not saying that he isn't taking him seriously, but remember, we had the same conversation in regards, or we at least had talks about this when Inoue was doing this, of looking with the Junto Nakatani fight coming up, potentially looking past that fight for the fight he had with Picasso, signing fights, days or months down the line while he already had a fight scheduled. Some of the concern was, hey, brother, was he looking past it? Are you moving too quick in terms of you're already planning stuff and you got business to handle? Is it going to take away from where you can be as a fighter? Will you go and potentially slip too much in one instance because you already have your eyes set on the big prize down the line? That could be a concern. I'm not saying Benavidez is going to follow that same, or excuse me, I'm not saying Benavidez is going to do that and it's going to affect him negatively. Because again, Inoue did it and he was just fine. He's still doing it now and he's just fine. Benavidez, it could be that same thing, but boy, that you want to talk about, brother, that is a big slice of pie. That's a huge slice of pie. My goodness. Oh, shoot. Great day in the morning. That's insane. Let me see. Yes, if he wins the fight, which he knows he definitely is, beating Yarde. Okay, so yeah. My goodness. Shoot, man. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's insane. That's what, oh my gosh. My gosh, that would be insane. He would have a tough time beating Bivol or Benavidez. See, and here's the thing. We can discuss whether he can beat Benavidez or excuse me, whether Benavidez can beat Beterbiev or Bivol. If the triple Bs all go against each other, we can argue who's going to beat who. That's perfectly fine. We can argue how far it can go. But what we need to hone in on and understand is the fact that, again, if what MS has said is true, he's already gotten this lined up. This ain't about talks or future board type stuff where you're just the dreams I'm going to put here and here. This is the goal. He's apparently, allegedly, he's already got it signed that we're going this route, plain and simple. If I win, this is my next step, period. It's this undisputed and we're moving up. Guaranteed. No questions asked. That's, again, what other boxers are moving like this? What other fighters are moving like this in the world of boxing? Even with the changing of the guard when it comes to the world of boxing right now, from the standpoint of old era going out, new era going in, Terrence Crawford being the new standard that everybody wants to follow. All that's well and good, but outside of Crawford, and in a way, like, we don't see people moving like this from the standpoint of like setup after setup after setup. We going murderer's row. Immediately. Jumping up. Immediately. And it ain't like it would, and it's a road that makes sense, but it's also a road that it's like, but there's no breaks. And this is why I'm saying Benavidez, this is why I keep on saying Benavidez is going to be part of that next era that is going to shape what the world of boxing is going to be. You have, leading into the new era, you got Abdullah Mason, who's also on the card, who's going to fight Sam Noakes. I think he's going to knock him out. You have Ben Rodriguez, You got all these other young cats, young fighters. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez is still relatively young. All that stuff. Brian Owen Jr. All these great people. Then you got people up here where when that new era fully sets in, they're going to be the ones that are at the top that you got to try to aspire to get to. As this new, to use One Piece, this new pirate era comes into play. This is the type of actions that set you up to be in that place. When Crawford's gone, when Canelo's gone, when Usyk is gone. This is what gets you to be already. When they go, okay, you are it. You are the guy. This is the type of stuff that can get. This is the type of stuff that can get your face of boxing arguments. This can get you in that conversation, let alone you can win it. If you're moving like that, that's ridiculous. This is preposterous. It's incredible. Insanity in every way. But again, it's Benavidez. That's what's so crazy. It's Benavidez. This isn't. It's ridiculous. Benavidez needs a miracle to accomplish all that. And that's what I'm saying. The fact that he's going about this is insane. That this is the goal. Whether he does it or not is completely irrelevant. Because we know what's going to happen if he does win all of those fights. We know what history's going to say. But just the fact that you already in an era that we've been saying people don't, or we're getting out of, people avoid, we're getting out of the mode of people avoiding tests. He's jumping this deep into the foray. It's an insane sentiment of, well, even by the good standards, ain't many people moving like that. This would be insane. This would be ridiculous. Historic. In a way that others who are trying to be great ain't even done yet. This would set him apart from most people. Forget the division, in the boxing world. If this is true, that would be insane if he accomplished it. To be Yarde, Bebo, Better BF, and or both. Then Zurdo Ramirez. Dare I say within a year or two? Insane. Buddy says Apatai was considered and is a great fight with Benavidez, but Apatai doesn't bring anything to the table right now since his resume is a bit light and not really much benefit belt-wise. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I makes sense. From the standpoint of he's been saying he wants to go at the belts for multiple times, we can argue Jai Apatai is a higher notoriety. But from a belts perspective of who controls the division, yeah, it's Zurdo Ramirez from a holistic perspective. So, my goodness, this would, and understand, this would still lead to a fight with Jai Apatai. If he went this route in the first place, this doesn't mean that Apatai isn't on the table. Because as you say, if this, I'm not, MS, I'm not saying that you're lying. But this is, I'm just trying to cover my bases. When I say alleged, but you bringing this information firsthand. And if you got sources like that, hey, great. Hey, I'm happy. I'm excited. I ain't got these sources. So I'll research them absolutely. But again, that's why I say if this is true. Just to cover my bases. Not saying that not calling you a liar in the slightest. Because I want this to be true. Because my gosh, it's exciting. But Apatai wasn't off the table. Apatai was just not the most prevalent that could be done from the standpoint of controlling the division, getting all the belts and all that stuff. In line with what Benavidez has been saying. I know issue there. Doesn't mean that this still isn't that he is still avoiding the comp. He ain't. It would just be after he faces off, and if he beats Zurdo, if this plan does come to fruition, he's still fighting Apatai. If Apatai still has the belt for Undisputed, he'll still be doing it. It would just be for the complete belt rather than just one for one of them. And my gosh, if that happened, oh shoot, my goodness, Lord. I would love, you know what? And this is why I would love to interview these fighters. This is why I would love to interview Benavidez. Because I would ask him stuff like this. Hey, brother, if this is true, The what are you thinking? My gosh. The what are you trying to do? Do it. That's why we say, hey, brother. What? Who are you trying to prove wrong? Because this is insane. I know you wanted to get out of the shadow I know you were trying to make your own legacy, but I mean great day in the morning, if this is right. Oh boy, that would be insane. I would never make this up. If it weren't from one of the horse's mouth, I'd be stupid. I'm just sharing it out. Well, look, thank you so much. Look, I appreciate it. The fact that you think that my show is worth your time and dropping this type of gems of what's going on, again, for the sake of, I guess, legalese or whatever, we'll say alleged. Because again, I ain't calling you a liar at all. We just got to wait for all this stuff to actually come out. But if this is in fact true, and my gosh, I hope it does, this will be incredible. This will be phenomenal. Yes. This makes this card all the more special. Because now, I'm going to have this in the back of my mind. That my gosh, this might be the road he's trying to get on. Unless something goes right. But if it happens, if it happens, hey, hey, I'm not gonna lie. If this happens, if this plan is true, and for those of you who are just tuning in, for those of you just tuning in, we're reacting to the potential insider news, again, alleged insider news, that Benavidez already has a fight or a contract in place with Golden Boy to fight Zurdo Ramirez down the line if he is able to beat Yarde and either Benavidez or Bebo for the belts here. And then move up to cruiserweight, because he has been saying he's going to move up to cruiserweight quick and in a hurry. He's going after the belts and then moving on. He said that multiple times. We covered that on this show well before any of this stuff even got propagated. We know this. We know it fits in some capacity. So the potential is he's going to fight Yarde, then Benavidez and or Bebo for the undisputed titles, and then move up, hypothetically, and fight Zurdo Ramirez in his first fight at cruiserweight. Then go to unify against Jai Patai, hypothetically, if Jai still has the belts at 170, at 190. In the span of a year or two. If that's the case, I'm telling you, that might be enough to get him in the top 3, pound for pound. I'm not gonna kid you. I kid you not. That might be enough to get him in pound for pound top 3. I say that as serious as anything else. That might be enough to get him in the top 3, pound for pound. It would be hard pressed for me to argue. That type of run, it'd be hard for me to argue. He wouldn't earn it. It would be hard for me to argue that he wouldn't deserve that. That's with Inoue and Usyk and Crawford. Crawford being Crawford, I understand. Inoue being Inoue, I understand. Shoot, it might come down to Usyk versus Benavidez. It might actually come down to Usyk and Benavidez fighting for the 3rd spot. I kid you not. Shoot, man. That would be insane. And I just don't know about Benavidez. Again, we're gonna find out. If he can beat Yarde, he's gotta beat Yarde first. If he can beat Yarde, right, then we can do this. He talks, but he does not do it. Now hold on. I don't say that now. Hold on now. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Wait a minute now. He talks, but he does try to follow up what he says. It's the other side of the spectrum that goes and doesn't do what it's supposed to do. But he said he was trying to run through cruiserweight quick. He's been running through cruiserweight quick. He said he wanted Canelo and called out Canelo, but Canelo ain't take the fight in the WBC. Let him keep the belt instead of giving Benavidez his mandatory opportunity. It's been that Benavidez has been talking and walking like he said he was going to do. It's everything else that's been unfair. But it ain't Benavidez's fault. But again, if he does indeed commit to this, it's insane. I'm not sure. Like I said, if speculative, I completely understand. I'll be speculative too. Guardrails up. We'll see if this transpires. We're not calling anybody a liar. Be clear. But if this all does come out, and it's great, phenomenal, stupendous, and it fits what Benavidez is as a person and as a fighter, where's we going after? So I'm like, he still got to handle Yarde first and foremost. That's still going to be a hard task to follow or a hard task to handle. But if he does, it'd be great. And so I've heard this before. Boots said he was going to become undisputed in three-weight class. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you want to have your mind at ease, Benavidez did what Boots didn't do. Up until this point in his career, he's committed. Boots didn't commit to what he said he was going to do. He flip-flopped, he changed and all that stuff. Benavidez has done nothing in the slightest of what Boots and other fighters have done when they said they're going to accomplish it. Charlo said he's going to come back and take over. That brother still is not in the ring. Spence said, I'm going to come back in stronger. That brother still ain't fought anybody. I dare say, I've seen him more time on the beach than I have in the gym. No disrespect. We're just calling what people say and what people don't do. Benavidez has not done that, thankfully. Because I'm telling you, he's built different. But we're gonna see. We will see what happens. Absolutely, no question about it. Also, I think I skipped somebody. Hold on. Somebody was in the chat and I missed him. Hold on a minute. Somebody was here and I missed him. I'm trying to make sure I get him back. Give me 1 second. Where they at? Where they at? Is here somewhere. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, that's it. Al Booger. Hey, brother, how you doing? What's going on with you? Thanks for tuning into the show. So glad I knew I was forgetting somebody. Also, LR Vlogs, what's going on with you as well? Thank you for tuning in. So glad you're here with us on today. Appreciate you tuning into the show. Again, we're talking about everything in regards to the Ring 4, everything. You can Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. If you want to go and touch on that whole aspect with the press conference that just happened roughly an hour ago, I was watching more so the face-offs of the two fighters in for the Ring 4, where Bam and Martinez got into it. Brian Norman, Devin Haney had to stare down for like 6 minutes, not turning away from each other. It's looking like it's going to fit the bill of a phenomenal card. But hey, man, we can't wait to see it. Haney is a clown. Hey, Haney might be, but he better not clown around for this fight. I'm going to tell you that right now. He better not clown around for this fight. Because if he does, it's going to be bad. And I still don't think he's going to stand and bang like Bill Haney said he's going to do. He had that look in his eye this night. At least on the way in today. All right. He's locked in. Cool. What will that look like on the actual fight night? We don't know. Hey, I'm not going to lie. We don't know. It could be all talk. For all we know. It could be all talk. It could. But it could be all looks and no actual, bravado on fight. We don't know. What we do know, though, is that it is going to be a night worth to remember. And my gosh, the ramifications. And hey, look, if what MS has said is right, with everything else we said about this card, but this could kick off an insane level. This could be an insane level of work that kicks off on the ripple effects of what this card's going to be. It could be an insane level. It could be absolutely ridiculous. And I'm here for it. I'm telling you, I am here for it. Absolutely. Let me see. So I don't believe it so easily. Like I said, be skeptical. We ain't calling nobody a liar. If this stuff comes out right, we're hoping this is true. We are hoping this is true. Because my gosh, what type of star would Benavidez be if he went down this road? Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. And don't forget, in the midst of all of that, a potential Canelo Alvarez fight is still on the table with, again, one of the non-negotiables in Canelo's career. He's still one of them. It could be all this and Canelo as a run within the span of a year or two, or potentially 3, depending on how stuff lines up, if in fact it happens. So we're going to hold out hope that this is right. And we hope so, because, my gosh. This would be incredible. Let me see, Mr. Miyagi, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Let me see what you got to say on today. And thank you. And if you haven't already, leave a like on the stream if you haven't. Please, we got about 9, 10 people in the chat. Leave a like on the stream. Get the likes up. Tell the people what the world's going on. Tell them about the hottest show in all the go right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. And hey, We appreciate y'all tuning in on this Friday afternoon. It's still the championship rounds. Do not forget where you all control the conversation. You all control the narrative of this show, and you all have the opportunity to say and do with respect. You all got the point to say and control how the show's going to go. So absolutely. We want to hear your voice, your opinions, your thoughts. Still want to support the show? Cash App and PayPal. And now that we're monetized, hey, you can give us super chats. Feel free. Go ahead. Pay my bills. Do whatever you want to do. Absolutely. But we're going to have fun. We're going to make this show enjoyable. And let's see what you got to say on today. David is not going to fight Bivol or Arthur because they don't bring money to the table. And Turkey's no longer going crazy with the fight purse. Now, I push back on that. I think he is because of the fact that he still wants undisputed at light heavyweight. It would go against what Benavidez said he wants to do in this division first before moving up to cruiserweight. Because again, before moving up to cruiserweight, he said he wanted to go there, and he's going to go there in a couple years. But he wants to get undisputed here first. He wants his shot, his deserved shot at undisputed first here. Now that he's a champ, and Bivol, because he dropped the belt, and Benavidez is now the full champ, Bivol's the guy he would have to go through. If that trilogy with Benavidez and Bivol does not happen, which with back surgery, it might not, at least not right now. It would make sense that defend this belt, keep a spot in line, get the fight with Bivol, then move up. So I do think it's going to happen. I do. Even without the big bag. Because again, Benavidez, up until this point, hasn't moved with money first in mind. He's moved with the sentiment that we've been saying on this show. With legacy comes money. If you do the legacy first, then the money will come afterwards. But you got to do your job first. He's been operating like that up until this point in his career. If it changes, okay, it changed, and we talk about it as it changed. We call it out if it changes. But as of right now, that's been what he's been operating in. So we can take that at face value for now. Stuff changes. But I think he'll still take that fight. I truly do. David talks a lot about what he's gonna do, but it might not happen. Like I said, we're gonna watch. It's a lot of good talk. At this point in time, he's kept to the same word. Mind you, everything we just said about what MS broke right here on the show, this he hasn't said outright this is what it is. We're hoping that this is the case. But it sounds like it falls in line with exactly what Benavidez operates like for his entire, and has been operating like for his entire career. So, like I said, have your skepticism. Be sure to watch what he says, watch what he does. Absolutely. And we call it as stuff goes forth. But at this point in time, for news as a whole, hey, I can be skeptical and excited. That's what I am. At this point in time, that's what I am. Let me see, I could see him fighting Zerto because his dad was talking about negotiations last year. That he was also doing it. His dad was talking about Zerto Ramirez going at the cruiserweight, saying we ain't spending much time down here. In fact, I think I played that clip here on the show a couple of months ago about that very thing. Or at least I got it saved. Hopefully I play. I know I got it saved. Hopefully I played it sometime on this show. I believe I did. I'll go back and watch. But either way, yes, that is true. That has been said by him before. But Benavidez and Bivol is a tough fight for him. It is. We're not saying he's going to win him. We're just saying the fact he's going to take him is incredible. That's where my excitement is. The fact that it sounds like he's going to take those fights, win or lose, great. If he does win, again, we said we know what history's going to say about him. Insane. And most likely working his way in the top 5 to top 3 pound for pound. If he accomplishes all of this. And my gosh, don't let him go to heavyweight afterwards. My gosh, don't let him go to heavyweight afterwards and have success. Oh, shoot. Oh, my gosh. The possibility now is potentially genuine. That could happen. If he says, I'm still not satisfied. If he accomplishes all of this, hypothetically, and then says, all right, I'm going to heavyweight, brother. What? Imagine. Light heavyweight undisputed, cruiserweight undisputed, and dare I say, just straight up heavyweight champ, not even undisputed, just heavyweight champion. In some aspect and regard, one belt, my gosh, would be enough for me. Dare I say, if he tries to go after all of them, oh shoot, preposterous. That'd be ridiculous. Let me see. Oh shoot. Tyler Monk, what's going on with you? Hey brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us today. So glad you're here with us. Appreciate you joining in. Back on the live with us today. We doing good. Hopefully you're doing good as well. I appreciate all of you coming through and hey, we having some great fight talk right now about the entirety of the card. So I definitely want to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything involved with what you guys say. Where's the best place to bet? And man, you know what? I don't know. Now again, I'm not sponsored by nobody, so I ain't got no skin in the game. But telling you where to bet, telling you where to bet your money. You got FanDuel, you got my bookie, you got like some would say even ESPN bets, but I'm gonna tell you this right now, with all the stuff they got going on, scandals and otherwise, you might want to stay away unless you get indicted in a lawsuit. Who knows what's gonna happen there? Lord knows. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. But even still, I'll let the chat tell you that, because I'm not entirely sure. I'm not gonna lie, but like I said, oh man, how would David take punches from cruiserweights? I would imagine the same danger that we see at light heavyweight, it would be elevated at cruiserweight, especially against Zerdo, or more specifically against giant power hitters like that. I would assume. The danger gets elevated, absolutely. It would be more dangerous for him to get knocked out. But I also think if the pattern stayed true, the overall defensive talent would go up as well as it did at light heavyweight. Because he's going to be forced to, and he's shown if he's forced to change for the better, he will change for the better. He has added new stuff to his game every time something has gone awry and or the danger has increased, and has learned from the past to be better. So I think he can get knocked out quick. I know he can, because that's what the cruiserweight power level can be. No question about that. You're dealing with some big boys up there. But as a boxer, I think we would see him if he did go there. Wouldn't be for no reason, because he will change his game. He will, for the better, like he did for light heavyweight. So it's great, especially Jai, who is like a truck. Yeah, the danger. That's why this is so impressive. We can argue whether he'll be successful up there at cruiserweight. That's a completely different conversation. How successful he can be at cruiserweight is a whole different conversation from him taking the opportunity to try at cruiserweight. That would be, again, some insanity type of stuff, even for somebody as big as David Benavidez. So because of that, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's going to lose, he ain't going to be able to do it. I'm not going to say that, because he could indeed lose. We know. But the fact that you, as great as you are talking about, or potentially have already signed, again, potentially, allegedly, be clear, allegedly have already signed to go that route. That's impressive. And we want to see fighters do that more often. Mind you, Brother Duran fought up to light heavyweight. Sugar Ray Leonard, super middle. Hagler stayed at middleweight, but again, dominated in an insane thing. Tommy Hearns moved up and down. Multiple divisions. Antonio Tarver, up and down. Roy Jones Jr., up and down. A lot of greats transcend. Bob Foster moved up light heavyweight, one of the greatest light heavyweight champions. Bob Foster, one of the greatest light heavyweight champions, moved up to heavyweight. Challenged Ali for the title. He lost. Valiant effort. Cut the brother. He cut Muhammad Ali, but got knocked out and stopped. It's not a detraction. You are great and you chase trying to be greater. We want that from everybody. Because then losses don't sting nearly as much, and they actually can edify a career because you went and took on X, Y, Z. But because most people don't do that now, a lot of boxers don't do that now. We're starting to get out of that now. But as long as it's been for that not being the norm, since boxing really turned into a downward slope, this is something that we want to see. The fact that we're saying he can lose up there is great, because we also know he can't compete And we see that if this is true, it's a sentiment of he is actively trying to push himself, like with Terrence Crawford, trying to push himself. And doing it when he faced off against Canelo and beat him. Doing it when he faced off against Calabasas or Ricky Burns. Gamboa, who's undefeated. Then going to 147 and then cleaning out everybody else. And then also beating and dominating Errol Spence Jr., who was, at that point in time, seen as unbeatable. And so, this is what we want. And we're happy this is happening. So forget, for now, the argument of whether he can be successful, we can put a pin in that and we can discuss that later. Because it warrants a discussion. But the argument of, is he at least going to do it? We can have that and say, we can be skeptical. But I can at least say, I think he's going to actually try. And I hope he does, because that would be insane. That would be insane. I would love that. Let me see. If Abdullah gets past Noakes, do you think he can beat Andy Cruz and Ray Murtala? Yes. Yeah. Now I know he's young. I know he's young. And they're calling Sam Noakes the another Golovkin, the Golovkin of lightweight. Again, 89% knockout ratio. All that stuff. We understand Noakes. He's a bad brother. He can hit. He can swat now. But at the same vein, Abdullah Mason is genuinely more skilled and better talented. And also Noakes, with this style of offense, is very prone to the best weapon of Abdullah Mason, which is a counter. He doesn't move his head off to the side oftentimes. He can still knock out Abdullah Mason, even while Abdullah's having a proper guard. He can. Because we've seen that before. But also, Abdullah shifted his entire defensive mindset. Going from Philly shell to high guard. Been more deliberate over the last couple of fights since that 2 knockdown performance. To mitigate that type of risk and to be a better counterpuncher than even what he already was. If he beats Noakes, he can beat Andy Cruz. This isn't a shot at Andy Cruz. Abdullah's just that good. He's just that good. He can beat him. He can beat him and Murtala. He'd have more trouble, I think, with Andy Cruz than Murtala, but he can beat them both. He will be able to beat, if he can beat Noakes, he can beat them both. If he can beat Noakes, he can beat them both. I am fervent in that. I am fervent in that because Abdullah, he is that type of unique special talent. Not just because of the hype, that's because of the train. If I watch all the other best talents in the world right now, and I'm seeing where Abdullah already is, similar to most of the talent, he's refined beyond his years of what a fighter at his age should be. Can start this game at like 17, and already he's starting to this level of elite, polished. It ain't just elite raw talent; it's polished talent at this age, and at this early of a championship window. This, if it gets better, yeah, and I believe it will. This is why we're saying he can be one of the faces of this sport, not just of America, but of the sport as a whole, because he's that good, that transcendent of a potential talent that is already seasoned to a degree that others at the same time are not able to be at. That's just the truth. Of all of his peers, he still looks to be up here. So it's like he can. That's a bad brother. That's a bad brother. If he gets past Noakes, Cruz, y'all better watch out. Murtala, you better watch out too. Y'all, both of y'all, because he can beat both of y'all. He can knock out both of y'all. That ain't hype. That's legit. That's actual. He can knock out both of y'all. Don't let it be that all of a sudden we see that he's able to take the punches of Noakes if he gets caught clean. And it ain't affect him like it did the last time. It's going to be bad. That's going to be bad, man. It's going to be bad. And let me see. The fight between Benavidez and Bivol was already in conversation since the rematch. And the fight would be a PBC venue. Golden Boy and PBC not to. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for the clarification on the matter, MS. We appreciate it. Absolutely. Further clarification on the whole, the behind the scenes workings or what's going to happen with who's hosting what exactly. So, hey, if it happens, great. We'll see. We will see. Hopefully it still does transpire. But again, right now, the biggest focus, Benavidez Yarde. And afterwards, the avalanche of what comes through, we'll find out. And hopefully, it'll all be for the great. All be for the better. Absolutely. Bam and Puma is going to be a war. That fight is going to... that fight might end quick. Hey, that fight might end quick. With that, I have a sneaky suspicion. Now, I don't say this often. Please, I don't say it. Last time I said this, I was wrong. So please take it with a grain of salt. Last time I said this, I was wrong because I said that I got a sneaky suspicion that Ben versus Eubanks is going to be a better war than the first one. And lo and behold, Conor Ben knocked him down. Could have knocked him out if he had an extra round, but it was a one-sided affair. So be prepared when I say this, because I could be absolutely wrong. I got a sneaky suspicion that fight is going to be a war, but it's going to be a short war. It's going to be a war, but it's going to be a short one. I don't think Martinez versus Bam goes past. I don't think that fight goes past 6. 7 at the most. I don't. And it's not because I'm underestimating Martinez. It's because I think that Bam takes the leap, especially with the likes of, in a way, Nakatani it's looking like it's legit going to happen next year, especially with the card in December, both of them on the same card. Really, I'm thinking Bam, who had already said Nakatani was going to be his next fight, but things fell through, but he was going to have that fight. The interview with Showbiz the Adult, you can find on YouTube. He's trying to get in that mix as well. And so I think he's going to start elevating his level. Not just because of what he's looking at, but because he also understands, hey, but I'm at a race against the clock. I'm in the vicinity, but I'm not close enough. I'm trying to get there. So we got to put some pedal to the metal and handle our business more definitively than ever. Not overlooking, not getting reckless, but we got to do what we got to do now. That's what I think we're going to see from the likes of Bam Rodriguez. And that's what I think we're going to see. You're going to see him take a step. We're going to see him take a step. And I think he's going to be within 6 to 7 rounds. We're going to see him get a knockout. I believe it. I truly do. That's my prediction for that fight. I think we're going to see a knockout. I really do. I smell an upset. I don't. I really don't. I truly, because I see this fight going 2 ways. Either Martinez gets too reckless or Martinez gets too conservative once he feels the power in the offense of the likes a bit. Either he gets too reckless because he's really trying to make a statement, or he gets too conservative because he feels what's coming at him and now he doesn't want to deal with it. And then Bam works like we know we can work. That's what I see. So I don't know if it's going to be an upset. I don't think it's going to be an upset. It's going to be a good fight, but I don't think it's going to last long. It's just me, or the more Espinosa fights, the more holes start to show, the other champions will take advantage of those openings. At this point in time, I hope, because I need 126 to start getting some traction. It's got that division, for all we talked about, it's got a little bit stale from the standpoint of movement. From the standpoint of the biggest fights that have happened is Nick Ball versus TJ Doheny. With all due respect to Doheny, who fought in a way. We need somebody to unify. We need somebody starting to step to people, step to each other. Fulton's fighting O'Shaquie Foster for the title at 130. Okay, I can't say none of that because he's going in and chasing a bigger division. I can't say nothing again. But everybody else, we need to start making some moves. It got at least at that, at least up here, we got to. Something's got to happen. We got to start getting okay, we need some answers. Who's the baddest man in the land? We need that. Something to shake and quake. We got to get some people moving. Because it is getting preposterous at some point. My gosh. My goodness. Especially from the likes of Nick Ball. So this ain't me trying to hate. I'm hoping Espinoza has some holes so that we can get people to not be scared of the brother and fight him and take the belt, please, or give him a chance to unify. Give somebody, do something. Cause my goodness, for all that talk of what that division can be, with Anyway on the way here, Anyway ain't there yet. So we need some movement being done with y'all in the mix. Outside of Fulton, because Fulton's doing what Fulton needs to do. Taking on Shockey Foster. Going after another title while rating at 126 champion. So I can't say nothing against that. But you ain't wrong. And I'm glad. Because, my goodness, we need it. Let me see. Adam, what's going on with you? How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you all for tuning into the show with us on today. Woo! Let me see what you got to say on right now. I originally took Norman with the KO, but I saw Haney working out with Benavidez, and I'm almost about to change my pick. You can, but I'm not going to say that you need to do that. If you're going to say that he's going to knock him out, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not laughing at your comment. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm not laughing at your comment. I'm laughing. I was watching. I'm rewatching the Jake Paul press conference, and I just saw Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua stand face to face in their first face-off together. And the shock of the height discrepancy. Mind you, Jake Paul is wearing pumps as well. The shock of the height discrepancy of this fight was so abrupt. It made me pause for cause because I was so shocked. Oh gosh, Jake Paul is going to the hospital. Jake Paul is actively going to the hospital after this fight. I'm watching the face-off right now. Jake Paul is actively going to the hospital after this fight because there's no way. Yeah, no, he doesn't have a chance in the world. He doesn't have a chance in the world. He looks out of shape now, trying to go through and gain weight for this fight. He looks like all the definition he had that he was gaining just turned to flab because he's trying to gain weight to make weight for this fight at 245, at least 220, 200 something. Yeah, this is going to be bad. This is going to, hey. Hey, look at this. We got the problems here. This is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. Oh, gosh. And again, we can't talk about the press conference. We talk about the fight and all that stuff. Absolutely. Just say the word in the chat, and we can change the topic. Because again, it's still you all's conversation. As you can see, what's the championship rounds? But well, you all can control the show all day on today. But again, let me keep on reading your chat, so we're not going through. But Adam, I apologize. Let me get back to your conversation. Y'all was about to change your pick. That's fine. I don't know if you should because of the fact that Benavidez, he's training with him, but I don't think it's going to help him. Because again, if you training against Benavidez, would be you training against a taller opponent, where even in what works, it would have to be different. You're not even doing that. You're fighting you're still bigger from a height perspective than Brian Norman. So if you are training with Benavidez, let's say hypothetical sparring, because I haven't seen the footage, you're training punching up. You're trying to close the distance against a brother who's got the reach on you. At this point in time, at minimum, y'all gonna be closer to get closely knitted together, or the reach difference is still gonna be in your favor by maybe an inch. I don't know if Benavidez training with Benavidez is gonna help him. Plus, I don't even know if it's gonna help with his own style. Unless he's going to actually stand and bang. And I don't think it's going to stand and bang. For me, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't. Because don't forget, Canelo sparred with Boots. And look what happened to him and Boots is the real brother. That buddy can fight. That's a real elite boxer that can emulate Crawford. And you saw what happened to him. So I wouldn't say that picking the winner off of sparring partners in all facets can be the most advantageous thing, especially if you're trying to bet some money. Which, hey, I don't want y'all suing me because I was the brother who led you on. Hey, don't do that now. Don't do that now. Oh, Lord. Don't do that. But let me see. Hold on. Wait a minute. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Hold on. We got some money. We got some money. Yes, sir. Matt Borgenson, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. $40 with the $5 super chat. Again, if you didn't know, we're monetized, y'all. We got ourselves some dough, some money. We in the green now. So if you want to give that, pay my bills, pay me some money, give me some dough. Do what you got to do and give me all. Strip away your bank accounts. Give me all your 401k. I'm Mr. Krabs. I'm stealing everybody. I'm messing, I'm kidding. But we appreciate the $5 super chat. Matt Borgenson, you've been here for a hot minute. I'm glad you were able that you deemed our show yet worthy to deserve some doubloons from the great man that is you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We humbly accept said donations to the cause of the empire. Absolutely. But let's see what you got to say on the matter. And again, thank you for the money. It really does mean a lot to me. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Helps me out a whole bunch. Helps us to invest back in the show. So we appreciate it so much. Thank you again. But let me see. Sending love your way. Haven't seen you this excited since Spencer Crawford. I mean, hey, brother, this is a big fight now. Now, granted, hey, I've been excited for multiple fights. I try to keep the same level of excitement on multiple occasions. I really do. Again, this is the hyped up show. We make everything, or at least we try to make everything exciting as possible. But this is actually work. This is legit ramifications. You have to understand what can happen, not just in the fight, but beyond this card can be ridiculous. Bam could move up. And all of a sudden now the inclinations of the three kaijus of boxing, from the standpoint of pound for pound, in a way, Nakatani, Bam, all in there at the same time around each other, would be an insane, hyped up, and genuinely intriguing triangle of affairs that can take place. Brian Norman could all of a sudden rocket into the future of not just the division, but of boxing as a whole. Devin Haney could get his face back or lose his face entirely and drop off the face of the earth if he loses to Devin Haney. Validating or sealing what that performance was in Ryan Garcia as not just a fluke. Oh, he ain't got it no more. Now all of a sudden that cachet goes out the window. Don't forget, also with Abdullah Mason, if he wins against Sam Noakes, well, now you got Floyd Schofield. Now you got Shakur Stevenson. Now you have Lamont Roach even at 135, though he's moving up to fight at 140. Shoot, sorry, my bad. I almost hit the mic. You got the rest of 140 that he could also quickly move up to, because this cat is a growing kid. He's 135 right now at 21. Dare I say by 23, he's moving through. He's moving through. And he's going to 140. Richardson Hitchens, Isak Cruz, Valenzuela, whoever. Sabril Matias. Hold on, wait. Not Sabril Matias. Hold on a minute. No. And don't clap for that. No. Because that buddy, he just popped rostering. Oh, good God. Oh, it's Ryan Garcia all over again. Lord knows. Oh, Lord knows. We got another Austrian situation. He done popped dirty yet again. So Lord knows. It's going to be a lot. So he might be out the picture fully. If he's a champion right now, but it could get stripped out right. Next thing you know, that belt's up for grabs. Whoops. Who knows who could get that 140? There's a lot of volatility. And Abdullah Mason could be right there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can transpire. Boy, off of this card alone. And I just learned, or reportedly, this is from Dan Raphael, Anthony Joshua was supposed to be on this card. as a last minute, like secretly put in fighter fair for his comeback fight. I just learned that like yesterday or 2 days ago, reportedly, that Anthony Joshua was supposed to be on this card on November 20th, tomorrow. He was supposed to be quietly put on that card tomorrow for the comeback tune-up fight. He was supposed to be there. Oh gosh. So like this card could have been even better, but even still, between now and December, nothing but work. Nothing but work. I know, my God, it's going to be insane. It's going to be partial. I think Mason is going to destroy Noakes. Hey, I also thank you for the $2 super chat as well. We appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. But yeah, a lot of people got the same sentiment. Boy, I'm telling you. Now, we again, Noakes can stop this train in a heartbeat. One punch can really end the show. He's called the lightweight Golovkin, but I watched what this cat can do. I watched that. That pop ain't lying. No, that pop is elite. No, that pop. We thought Butter with the pillow for the back of his head was in trouble. Who put Abdullah Mason down? Hey, but a Noakes, that's a. Oh gosh, that Butter's scary. That cat's scary. As a puncher, yeah, that cat's scary. But as a opportune counterer, Abdullah Mason has so much opportunity to go through and catch him and put him down. Which is why that's why I got Abdullah Mason knocking out Noakes. It ain't gonna be easy. Lord knows it won't. No, Abdullah better be on his guard genuinely, defensively. But boy, if it goes right, he can knock him out. I'm telling you, he can do it. He can absolutely do it. I do believe Abdullah will dominate Noakes. See, we got a lot of people saying Abdullah is going to go through and dominate and take him out. No question. Is there an official Discord for the what? I don't think. I haven't used Discord in so long, I've done forgot about it. Shoot. I had it in college. We played video games. But like, with me and my crew, I was like, I haven't made one for this one. Maybe I might need to look into that, actually. I'm not going to lie. I might need to look into a Discord. I'll look into it. What, like I said, we're finding out how to make this channel multi-dimensional or multifaceted from a content. From a content perspective. We learn it. We learn. Okay, look, I'm trying to be savvy. I'm trying. I'm young, but I'm still learning. But we'll look into it. We'll look into making a Discord for the Watchman. Hopefully, it'll be the biggest in the land. Like we're trying to do with this show. Absolutely. But we ain't got one yet. I don't forget how to make one. Shoot, I gotta go back. I gotta learn from scratch how to do that. Absolutely. Let's see. Abdullah's very talented. Absolutely, yes, he is. Noakes is gonna get destroyed. I think so too. He's a UK fighter. They always use to US. I mean, it's not always, but it's like because again, it don't matter where you're from. It's what you are and how you fight. Forget where they're from. Forget the pedigree of where they got it. Noakes is dangerous, but Noakes is also very much straightforward in a negative light. Not because of this, he can't work. He's got a great double jab that sets up a lot of shots to the body and to the head. He has legit one punch ending power, but he is very much up here or in here and very in the center. He's very much in a position where he is prone to getting caught if you move out the way. If you move over here or you slip to the, am I right? Yeah, am I right? If you slip right or left, either way, or you keep your head off the center line, especially off of the double jab setup, kind of similar, little bit similar to Canelo. Little, not a lot, little. There's some, if you got the speed, which Abdullah has, you can counter that, brother. You can catch him and get out of dodge. And I think Abdullah's going to do that. I really do. I think he's going to be by KO. Destructive KO, absolutely. But let me keep on reading. What you got to say? Abdullah's future of boxing. Yep, I think he's one of them. He's one of them. He is one of them. Absolutely. That's why I expect Zayas unify. If he does go and unify this early against a boss, that would be impressive. I'm not going to lie. at all. I think I missed some chats up here as well. I'm trying to make sure I catch everybody because we want to be as well rounded as possible. Cause we got a lot of people chatting. I'm going down, up, left and right. Let me see. You'll see what I'm saying tomorrow in regards to the fights on tomorrow. Brian Norman's speed will surprise Haney because Haney seems to underestimate Norman's skills and speed. I think it is the speed that's bigger than the skills that's being underestimated. Haney most likely feels when it comes to beating you to the punch, I'm going to get you there, no problem. I'm going to get you no issue. I'm going to go and I'm going to tag you whenever I want you. As we can even, since we got the title card, we might as well use it. But we're still in the championship rounds, to be clear, but we're just for the sake of keeping in line with how the conversation flows. We got some title cards to help the overarching topics, but you get what I'm saying. Regardless of which, Haney, or Norman rather, is seen as a power puncher with good skills, good feet, but everything isn't quick enough. That's the biggest detraction. People don't know if he's quick enough, even when he does the right stuff, to be able to touch Devin Haney, who relies on speed and distance. And is an expert at movement and technical efficiency. Efficient being the most apropos word of not getting hit and doing, if we're going off of Ramirez, the lowest stuff as possible to make sure you're safe. If we're going off of the last fight with Ramirez, Brian Norman has better speed than people may realize. Brian Norman can go directly 1-2 and use, the easiest way to A to B is a straight line. He can punch straights that can catch you. He can punch off of blocks and count it. His eye predictability of seeing what's coming your way is better than people expect. This is why I've said it before. It's the small stuff that makes a great fighter. Brian Norman does a lot of the small stuff right early on. And because of that, he is a monstrous threat to have the ability to, when it looks like you shouldn't be getting at Haney, you are. Why? Because you're timing him. You're able to predict it. You're seeing when stuff is going to come through. Pattern recognition, understanding rhythm, and even better, and I forgot to say this in the breakdown of the fight. Everybody listen close. Hold on. This is important. This is important. This is important.
We got some problems here.
This is important. This is very important. Brian Norman can make Devin Haney never have the ability to get in rhythm. I forgot to say it in the breakdown, but that was supposed to be two X factors. One of them was Haney's mental state. Second one, Brian Norman not letting Haney get in rhythm. We talked about it even earlier on the show. Brian Norman Sr. even said it himself. Norman is a marcher. When he gets in rhythm, he's a marcher in the ring with how he goes and gets his pace. How he goes and gets comfortable. He's a marcher. Rhythmically, his ability to get in 1, 2, hup, 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 that type of cadence is kind of the starter for everything that we see Haney do going forward as an offensive fighter. But if you are able to do what Ryan Garcia did, interrupt that cadence, or even better, you attack before that cadence can even start, there's no rhythm for Haney to work off of. There's no flow that Haney can work off of to understand how you move, because he can't understand how he moves while the fight's going on. Haney wasn't just looking discombobulated, out of sorts, outmatched because of the hook by Ryan Garcia. No. He could not get his own rhythm right against Ryan Garcia when he was trying to throw those hooks or try to throw his jab, landing on Ryan Garcia. Because Ryan Garcia was both abrupt and immediate. And by that I mean he was abruptly interrupting the rhythm of Devin Haney, and he was immediately acting on his commitment. There wasn't any hesitation. There wasn't any up, I got you. Okay, I'm going to set you up. No, it was when Ryan Garcia moved, he wasn't moving. He was there. It was almost an instantaneous action or an instantaneous thought and action of full committal at a manner that Devin Haney was not able to get set in the slightest with anything. With anything. Why do you think it, again, Ryan Garcia got tired when he had to take breaks. Every round that Ryan took off, Devin Haney won. But why? Because Devin Haney was able to fight in rhythm. He was able to not just dictate the pace, but dictate his own pace and learn, okay, this is my cadence. This is my flow. Now that I got that, okay, boom. Now I can go and I can jab now. Land with the 1-2. I get out the way. Stay safe, bounce, bounce, bounce. All that stuff. He was able to feel the flow. Shoot, even when he was fighting Jose Ramirez, he wasn't in rhythm. He won the fight. But he literally fought for survival of just trying to make it out as untouched as possible. That Ryan Garcia, or that Devin Haney, excuse me, wasn't a rhythm fighter. That was a survival fighter. Even when he would throw the shots, it would look uncomfortable. Why? Because he wasn't trying to set a rhythm. He was just trying to stay completely safe. Now later on in the fight, he got his rhythm, started opening up a little bit more. We watched the card, we acknowledged it as well, but it was like too little too late at some point. Or not too little too late, because again, he won. But it was, even then, he broke his own rhythm back up in order to stay safe and get out of dodge. To survive and just win. Not end the night, just win the night. You do just enough. Just like we talked about with Shakur Stevenson all those fights ago. Ryan Garcia stopped that rhythm from being established in Devin Haney's own psyche, in his own body, because of his immediate and committal reactions to trying to be the first to fight, and never, once he did get some offensive leverage, never letting it go when he wasn't trying to gain his breath again. Brian Norman can do that. And he can go for 12 without having to take a break. His power can carry. He hasn't had to go to 12 for most of his fights, but he can go 12. And his stamina can carry. He can pace himself, but still keep control and never let you in rhythm. Take away your feet by taking away your territory. That's the other biggest factor. If Devin cannot get in rhythm of his jab and offense as a whole, he's going to revert to back what we saw with Jose Ramirez. He's going to revert back to the very thing that we said he can't do. He can't be running, not boxing. He can't be running. He got to be able to box and keep his wits about him. Because if he runs like that again, he's going to be over. But he can't get in rhythm to box if somebody is taking territory first. Like with Ryan Garcia. That's where Norman is going to make Devin feel afraid. I'm not faster than you. I'm shorter than you. And we just saw the stare down. On the night of the fight, you may even be bigger than me. As we know, Devin Haney normally balloons up in weight severely. But I'm telling you now, there's a real inkling. Devin Haney is still going to fall into the same traps. Because he's going to be asking, how is this guy touching me? What am I doing wrong? It's because you aren't in rhythm and you can't get there. And if we don't allow that to happen, most of your offense becomes not just manageable, but becomes counterable. It's not just about me being able to handle your power. Now I can hit you with better shots because now you aren't in the rhythm that you need to set stuff up like you need to set it up. And that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be really bad. That can be the end of it all. That can be the beginning of the end right there. And that's why I think we're gonna see Norman win. Because he won't let Haney get the rhythm he needs to establish his jab to open up the rest of the offense necessary to win this fight. I don't think he will. I guarantee I don't think he will. At least for me. That's why that's the biggest thing of why I think this fight's gonna go into Norman's favor. Let me see. We will see Norman the Hunter. Yep, I think we will. Absolutely. No question about it. Let me see. What are these rumors of David fighting Callum Smith? After this, though, it's been. I have heard those. Again, if what MS said was right, it could be that all that goes out the window. Because Benavidez did say in the interview he was going to look and potentially fight Callum Smith after Yarde. He did. I think I saw that like 2 days ago. But if he can't get the fight with Bebo, guaranteed and agreed upon for undisputed, because again, he is one of the full-blown champions now, then yeah, we can see that happen. It could be forget Callum Smith. We're going to get Bebo next, hypothetically, depending on his recovery process. But again, we're going to find out. We're going to see. We're going to see how everything unfolds at this point in time. What do you think about the Matias adverse findings? Yeah, no, again, it's Ryan Garcia all over again. And again, he should be stripped. If he's a champion, he should be stripped. If he's a champ, and this is legit, especially if that B sample don't come back negative, especially if that B sample does not come back negative, that there wasn't anything in the system, then yeah, he should be stripped to the belt. And then get some movement at 140. Yet again, two people vying for titles. Shoot, make T.O. versus Shakur. If they do fight, make that for Matias's belt. That makes all the sense in the world. That would make sense to me. And it would add intrigue even more to an already highly anticipated fight. That would be my best thing. But no, if that B sample comes back negative or positive, whatever, if the B sample comes back that he popped, yeah, it's real. Strip him. You're banned. And T.O. and Shakur, they get the belt. Whoa, they fight for the belt. That's what I would let me see. Don't forget, Bam had his jaw broken previously by trading on the inside. Puma's forte. No, he did. He absolutely did. I'm not gonna put that past him. I know this happened before. But I also know not only how that fight ended, but since that fight, what Bam has become. Especially if you watch that fight against Kafu. That man has become a walking, stalking tank. He's become an agile tank, not Tank Davis, an agile machine. With defense being able to be very much, not just impenetrable, but anticipatory. And then we already know what the power can be, as per the words of Shakur himself, who sparred against a younger Bam when he was training for the Olympics. Like, this cat's different. This cat's different. I'm not saying it's not gonna be a good fight, but I do think I think it's gonna be quick. I do think it's gonna be quick. I think it's gonna be. Let me see. If he is found guilty of Puello versus Dalton Smith, I mean, yeah, I can see that fight. Like, for me, because of what's coming down with potential Shakur and T.O., that would be my dream. But Puello versus Dalton, that would make sense as well. That would also make the movie. That's one possible. Which ones? Yep, no movement, absolutely. 130 is moving well with fights coming up. Yep, absolutely. I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you decided since Proverbs, man. Because it's worth exciting for. Featherweight is the only lower weight division not moving. 115 is moving. 118 is moving. Shoot, I think 110 is even having some motion. It's just the featherweight division, and I hate it. I despise it with my heart and soul. That it ain't doing what it's supposed to do. But again, even still, it's gonna be great to see. Abdul's the future of boxing. I do believe so as well. Now, I do want to ask, when it comes to Abdullah Mason, where does the ceiling stop with him as a fighter? And by ceiling, I mean, how far do you see Abdullah Mason being able to elevate himself to in divisions? Would his limit be 147? Would his limit be hypothetically 160 if he really wanted to put himself that far? Shoot, could he go through a Terrence Crawford? Or could he go and do a Terrence Crawford? Try to go all the way up to 168, hypothetically. Though I'm not saying that's an easy feat, because again, it's Terrence Crawford. But he's getting some traction of, hey man, we ain't seen a brother like you since him in a minute. You could be something special. I would love to hear how far you think this can go with him as a fighter. In fact, I might just put it, actually, you know what? Hold on. I might just put that on the poll. Let me see. Let me put that on the poll. How far can and now if I spell his name wrong, I do apologize. Let me see. Let me check it. Did I spell his name? Let me make sure I spell his name right now. I think I think I spelled it. If I spelled it wrong, I apologize. But I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this poll because I want to see what you all have to say on the matter, because this is actually kind of intriguing, because this man has been getting, all deservedly so, he's been getting all the buzz, all the love, all of the actual support, and I mean, everybody and their mama are saying this cat can fly to the moon and back if he really wants to. So I want to see what you all got to say on the matter right now. We're going to put out a poll and we're going to see what you all have to say on how far can Abdullah Mason go with his weight class. Because I would love to hear from you all in regards to that answer. Let me see. Let me keep on reading. Pro Box Osu or Osa, what's going on with it? Thank you for tuning in to the show. Please leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Come on and join the empire and subscribe to the channel. This is the hottest show this hottest show in all the globe. This is the place to be. We talking boxing. We talking all this weekend. That's going to be an absolute night of action and fun this Saturday, 3 o'clock. Also, don't forget, we going to be streaming it right here on YouTube. At least we're going to try to. Hopefully, it works out just fine. But yeah, we're going to be watching it right here on YouTube, and it's going to be fun and exciting. And I can't wait to see if you all will tune in. That's not if. Y'all going to tune in. We're going to have ourselves a time, absolutely. But this is a night worth remembering. I want to see what you have to say. Let me see. I want to see, but I don't have the zone. Now, thankfully, there are ways, wink, wink, outside of the zone, that if need be, you can't see it. Now I'm not going to divulge. We're trying to, we don't want to get them taken out. But Reddit, great way to find stuff out. I'm gonna say that. What does old boy say? Fire stick boys back outside. Two-tone. That's what he said, two-tone. Fire stick, not stealing your stuff. Hey, not stealing your stuff. Quoting fire stick boys back outside. But if you can, support the official strength, please. Buy the zone, absolutely understand. If you can't, however, I get it. I've been in the same boat. I can understand. Telling you, there are ways. And trust me, Reddit. That's all I'm gonna say. Reddit, great place. If you need to be. Zone and pay-per-view, it's so much for you. It is a lot. And mind you, this wasn't one of the problems when it came to the world of Turkey saying there was going to be pay-per-view or no more pay-per-views. You got to pay one-time subscription for everything. And now it comes to find out, yeah, you can't pay for all the events, but you got to pay it while also subscribed as well to the zone already. So it's a price on a price, and then you can get everything. It sounds good, but it isn't what was propagated to the public. And it's still pretty high. So, it used to be the zone was $20 outright. And now it's whatever the zone yearly price is and that second subscription, I believe, if I have that right. If I don't, please correct me. But still, it hurts. This is why we're trying to get boxing to a scale that it can be on regular television where people can just see it. Or it's not nearly as expensive. Or these bundles become more advantageous. You can even make the argument that sure, this DAZN Ultimate Bundle may indeed be one of the better deals in all the pay-per-views today to be able to see this stuff. But even as a good deal, it still is incredibly high. So like, it's still ain't where it needs to be. We can all, I can vouch for that definitively. So it's I get it. I get it. Because we want the sport to be consumer friendly and fighters get what they deserve. Both can happen. But it's got to be a real audit in shift. And we're taking small steps to get there. Man, we still got a long way to go, sadly. Sadly, we still got a long way to go. Let me see. Norman's going to break them down? Absolutely. I think so as well. Haney win. So you think Haney's going to win? Well, my goodness. Well. You think Haney's going to take it out and be able to come out on top? Man, my goodness. My gosh. That's something. Dang. Do you think Haney's going to come out on top? That is, I'm not going to say this is a surprise, because I get it. Because again, it's still Devin Haney. I understand. He can't still outbox. I can't see any way that Haney is able to implement what he wants to do as a game plan. I can't, because of what the physical difference is. Rather, the physical ability of Norman being able to control him. What that's going to do to everything that Haney would want to do. That's why I don't think Haney's going to win. But if he does, hey, he proves me wrong. Hey, he sets up a fight with Ryan Garcia, and then we finally get the rematch. My gosh, hey, we finally get that rematch. Who doesn't want to see Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia too? Clean at 147, even a bigger division. Who doesn't want to see that? Just off the last fight. Even if we think that both of them are shells of themselves, but even still, who doesn't? I want to see it. Norman will catch slipping on the paint. Norman Speed will Norman Speed will shock Haney. Yeah, I think so as well. I do too. Hey, Von Greenhill, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. So glad that you're here with us. Let me see what you got to say on the matter. I can see Mason going up to 154 with multiple titles from different divisions. Now, again, please vote in the poll, because I do want to hear your thoughts and opinions on how far. Actually, let me. Well, that's good. That's good. I think that the wording's right. But you can see him go to 154, multiple titles from multiple weight divisions. It's going to sound crazy. I can see him going to 160. If he really wanted to push himself, I could see him making a play to get to 160 with how young he is. If he keeps growing as a body that I think he's going to grow into, I can see him get to 160. Now 168, it might be a bit too far. I understand. But with his frame, and if he's able to keep his speed, which is the biggest thing, as his body changes, I think he can get to 160. Does he win a championship? I don't know. Can he get there? I think he can. Can he be a champ at 154? I strongly believe it. Can he be unified champ at 154? I strongly believe it. Could he be potentially undisputed before that at 147? I'm going to say there's a possibility. I'm going to say that now that also depends on, again, with what's going on right now at 147. Brian Norman, if he fights and stays, if he beats Devin Haney, depending on how he looks, it might be tall order. But I don't mean it ain't impossible. I don't mean it's impossible. I can see at the best, the best of the best, he can get to 160. I think so. I can see 160 being the absolute limit. Ball and wasting your potential. Yep, we're talking about Nick Ball, absolutely. All right, how do you see Puello versus Smith? That's a You know what? I haven't really thought about that fight. As a matchup. I would have to think. I can't say for certain. I'm not gonna lie. I would have to think because I would have to think about that one because that's. See Smith, man, Mr. St. Smith fought against Buatsi. But in Puello, he's very moving it. Man. Yeah, I gotta think about that. I'm trying to think. Off the top of my head, I can't pick a winner right now. That's an interesting matchup of styles to think about. I'd have to think. I don't know. I can say that fight, I'm not sure who I got in that one right now. I would have to think. I would have to think about that one. So I come back to me later on. Let me get past this weekend. And then I can talk about that fight more fervently. I can't. But let me see. What do you think about Adam Azim? Adam Azim, he good. He's good. Adam Azim, I'm not gonna lie. That boy can fight. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna let that boy can fight. He can fight. He can fight. Right? Is he the best of the best? He's getting better. He's improving. But I'm telling you, he can fight. That cat can fight. He can go. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan, but I am saying that he. In fact, hold on. Hold on. Let me make sure we're talking about the same butter. Hold on. Okay, we are. Yep. Yeah. Adam. Yeah. I just had to check and make sure. Like we were talking about the same butter because I was trying to keep track of everybody that was in the what is it, the Grand Prix thing. So I'm not trying to get names mixed up. But no, I like him. I think he's pretty good. I think as a fighter, can he be a champ? And how do we say this? What's the best way to put this? And mind you, this could just be me. There are some fighters that are skilled. Excuse me. There are some fighters that are skilled and are very talented, but the ceiling of where they get once they get to the pros and once they start really moving through sometimes can be capped. It's like, he had a great running start and then kind of dropped off. I don't want to say he's going to get there because, again, the butter, phenomenal, great fighter, great power. What he did to Scoopy last week, they put a hurt on that boy. He put a bad beating on that cat. And this is what Scoopy going through and doing all the stuff on stage in previous seasons of the fight. Nah, he put belt to butt there. He put belt to butt, and deservedly so. And he keeps this run going. Yeah, he can be world champ. But in terms of the whole hierarchy of super lightweight and 140 as a whole, I don't know how dominant he's going to be, especially at that top tier. Again, with the TOs and others. But does look promising. Is there a potential ceiling? Maybe. I'm being skeptical with that. But if everything keeps on moving like it's moving now, all right, we got ourselves another real killer, another real dominant threat at 140 that adds to that super lightweight division. That is another, it's another spice in the pot of the cauldron of what can look to be a very exciting division that can amp up really quickly his volatility in a good way, in a very good way. So I ain't mad at him. So I got my eye on him now. I'm turning into a fan of his. Still want to see a little bit more. Turning into a fan of his. And he got my respect. He definitely got my respect, absolutely. Let me see, Tony Burkshot, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. And so let me see, and also, well, I'm looking at the poll as well, while I'm also trying to read your chats. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Please leave a like on the stream if you haven't already, and keep on enjoying the show. Keep on liking, keep on sharing. We still want to hear your opinions and thoughts on everything involving the world of 154, or not, excuse me, yeah, sure, of 154, but also of the whole of the card on tomorrow, with Benavidez, Yarde, Brian Norman, Devin Haney, Martinez versus Ben Rodriguez, and a whole host of others as well. We want to hear what you got to say on all of it. Absolutely. As we're winding down the clock, as we're only hours away, literally, as of right now, we are less than 24 hours away, 3 o'clock p.m., from having one of the biggest cards of the year happening right here for us to see. It's going to be exciting. And with the poll, you all show that you have Abdullah Mason, the limit's going to be 154 as of right now. Okay, so nobody thinks he can get up to 160 at this point. 154 looks more feasible. It looks like the most likely the best outlook. Now, if he does get to 154, brother, there's going to be some monsters up there. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be some monsters up there for Abdullah to fight at 154. If the division stays like it is now. Less if Boots actually gets to the top. Like people think he's going to. Oh, gosh. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be very good. 140 is a very stacked division. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Mason by KO, Norman by KO, and Yarde for the upset. Man, you really got Yarde for the upset. Really? Really? I'm shocked. I'm not saying it can't happen, but hey, I respect it. A little bit shocked, though. Would love to know why. If it's about a knockout and one shot that just ends it, okay, maybe. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't think so. Benavidez has been too defensively sound over the last 3 fights that I've seen him improve to be able to say he's going to get caught easy multiple times by Yarde. But with a fighter like Yarde, yeah, it can only take one punch to end you. It can. Again, the yin and yang of volatility is indeed there with Yarde. What he lacks in the substance of a fighter of what I think he should be at this stage in his career, he makes up for with the outright power that he brings to the table. He does. I can't deny that. He does. He absolutely does. It's ridiculous. But it's the truth. It's ridiculous, but it's the truth. But either way, it is going to be a war. It is going to be a war. It's going to be an insane war. Trust and believe. It's going to be an insane war, and I can't wait to watch it. Absolutely. See, psych, Benavidez, and see, you can't be doing it. You can't. I'm trying to take it serious. I'm trying to give analysis. I'm trying to be legitimate. You over here messing around, talking about some psych, Benavidez, Nate. You know what? Stay on your side of the fence. You said Yarde. We sticking with Yarde, doggone it. That's what I'm kidding. I'm messing. We just having fun. My God, so you actually think Benavidez, Nate? Okay, fine. Benavidez, Nate by knockout. Now, I don't think that's going to happen either. I think we're going to see it go to a decision. I don't think he's going to be able to knock out Anthony Yarde. I do not think he's going to be able to knock out Anthony Yarde. I just don't think he's got the pop at this division to do it. And if it took Benavidez 12 rounds, 11 rounds to knock him out with constant punishment, good gosh. I had a great day in the morning. What the was is it going to take for Benavidez to do it? That's why I think he's going to beat him. But I don't know about the knockout, but if we do see it, hey, it's going to be exciting. Now, let me see. Azim fights like, Hamza Shiraz. That's what it is. Azim fights like Hamza Shiraz, who beat Berlanga. What a coincidence. That's, and like I said with Shiraz, the slicing hooks, similar a little bit to Jai Patai as well. When he throws his shots, you can see it cut through the air. Somewhat because of the build, but also because of the sharpness, it cuts like a knife through butter whenever he throws his shots. That's what makes him so dangerous in terms of Shiraz. But in terms of Azim, similar thing. Now it's not as similar. Not as similar. I think Azim is, in personal opinion, I think Azim is a little more close range incentivized, but that same semblance of slicing and dicing, cutting through the air like butter. If when you land on your opponent, it's like you're taking a sword and cutting the face. Not saying it's going to actually cut the face, though it can, but it's like shing. You know that sound? Like you feel it through the screen and in the ring, even if it doesn't connect. It's insane. It's ridiculous and it's impressive. So again, he's turning me. That's why I'm watching. Right? He's turning me into a fan. Not there yet. I respect him. He showed something to me against Scooby, but he's turning me he's turning me into a fan. Yes, he is. Also, wait, hold on. We got a super chat. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. Mr. Miyagi, thank you for that. Thank you. Wait, what is it? I believe that's 10 euros. I think that's euro. I believe that's euros. With 10 euro super chat, I appreciate you giving and contributing to the show and donating to the empire to help us grow bigger and stronger and better than ever before to invest back into the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But let me see what you got to say. I smell upsets. Bam is skilled, but we have seen the most crude and wild fighter give very talented fighters a lot of problems. And you're right. You are right. But what makes Bam different though is the fact that when you get reckless or crass fighters, how they handle that type of steam is different than everybody else because he's able to adapt within the danger and then go and turn that same fire up against him. Anyway, does the same thing. Mind you, not saying that Cardenas was reckless, but Cardenas was coming in with some steam, quick and in a hurry. And you knew what he was doing. Louis Neary, same thing. But how he turned what they were doing against them as the fight went on is something that is a hard trait to have and learn. Some ways it's instinctual, but in all things, it is apropos and warranted. That's what Bam can do. And against Martinez, I don't doubt that Martinez can't put him down. I don't doubt that Martinez ain't got the power to upset him. What I do doubt is that if he gets into a position where Martinez and his own firepower starts to get turned against him, I don't know if he can respond in kind like I know Bam can respond in kind. More than respond in kind, and we can respond to overturn the entire fight. I don't think he can. I truly don't think he can in terms of Martinez or Puma, as we call it. And that's why I think Bam's going to be able to get, I don't doubt an upset can't happen. And if it does, hey, brother, you called it first. Ain't nothing I can say except, hey, you knew it was coming. I throw my hands up and say, y'all were right. I was wrong. I back off. But this, I don't think we're going to see an upset for this fight because of the malleability of somebody like a Bam Rodriguez who can mold and morph the ring, not just the fight, but the ring into his own endeavor and mold and morph himself into a new fighter. Even if it's not him changing his style, it's him changing the approach. And it can look exactly the same, but all of a sudden, when at one point in time he wasn't scoring, and another point in time he was, and it looks like he's doing the same thing, he's not. Because all of a sudden the approach shifts everything about how this fight goes, and he just switches it like that. He's so good. He's so good. If he gets upset, I'll be shocked. Not ruling it out, but I don't think he will. But either way, It's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a really good fight. It's gonna be a really good fight. I don't think it's gonna last long. Again, I got Bam knocking him out in about 6. And I think I said less than 6 or 7. 7 at the most. But either way, it's gonna be a good fight. Absolutely overwhelmed with punches and not punching back. That's how it gets stopped. Not putting him to sleep. So you're saying that the volume is gonna be so like with what was his name? What was it? Was it Davis that Benavidez got the stoppage against due to he just kept on hitting him and his face kept on changing and he wasn't able to adapt. I believe that was the, but I can't. He's done it to other people as well. The Caleb Plant fight I thought was going to get stopped. I'm surprised that fight didn't get stopped. But either way, that type of damage, we're going to see. If he does put that type of damage on Anthony Yarde to the point that it gets stopped, then I'm going to tell you this right now. That's why I would pick him over B-Ball or Benavidez if all of a sudden we can see those types of performances that we had at 168 happen again at 175. When we were saying he didn't have the pop like he used to, the bludgeoning power, to change the dimensions of one's face like he had at 168. If he gets that back here, oh gosh, that would be scary. Now, let me see. The thing is, Bam and Taraji will be a banger fight. Oh, are they? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh gosh, I just realized they are. I just realized you're right. They are. Oh shoot! I just realized they are close to each other, ain't they? They are within the vicinity. Oh my gosh, we could actually see. We could see a Taraji with the Bam fight. The world. I didn't even realize it. Now I know Taraji just got upset. I believe earlier this year we watched the fight live. Who was the buddy that beat him? Who was it? I forget the buddy that beat him. But he stopped. I believe he stopped him. But like. That wasn't upset. I remember that. Was it a stoppage or was it a unanimous decision? I thought it was a stoppage that Taraji got beat with. I can't remember. But that don't mean he still ain't great. That fight, I completely forgot they could actually fight each other. That would be incredible. That would be phenomenal. Let me see. I'm still trying to read everything that anybody just needs to say. Both just need to win their fights. Yeah, they both do. Just get it done. Like we know, they can get it done. Bam can get put unconscious if he stays in the pocket. He can. But see, like the pocket's also where he thrives. Like the biggest thing is him being able to get in the pocket and do work at a demonstrative degree. So it is high risk, absolutely, but the reward and the execution is something that it can't be denied. I can't deny it. I can't deny that. Let me see. Otis tried to put him down. Yes, he did. And if Puma gets the chance, it might be bad for Bam. We're going to find out. Like I said, I think it's going to be within 6 to 7. Bam gets the KO. But we going to see. We going to see. You better start calling me the boxing guru of truth. If I get I'm telling you. We got people in the chat now. We know who said what. We ain't gonna shame it, but we know who said what. We know who said what. We got a list. Don't worry. I can go back and see all these chats. We know exactly who said what and who called who. So if one of y'all is wrong, we ain't gonna be. You ain't gonna be able to run here. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing. we ain't gonna do that thing where we put people on blast. We ain't gonna be doing that. But like now, if you get it right, we gonna give you your props. Be clear. We want, hopefully, we want people to gain some knowledge of it. Hey, this is the room where hardcore, casual, experts, people that don't know nothing about boxing or sports, people that know everything about boxing and sports, anything, all of that. We want to see y'all come through and say what y'all gotta say. This is the room where anybody, this is just a conversation. It's a show. It is a show. Hopefully you're being entertained. I ain't got a bunch of room, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got. But hey, we want y'all to get it right. And if y'all are betting, hey, if you are, I ain't saying I ain't saying do it or don't. I ain't saying I'm condoning it or not. I'm just simply saying if you are, pass me a cut. That's the doggone truth. If you're using what I gotta say, give me a cut, brother. I want at least 30%. Oh, we raising the prices now. Before I was monetized, I was just getting 10. Now that I'm officially monetized, oh, we're doing 30 to 50. Minimum. But let me see. We're just making jokes, though. But let me see what y'all got to say. Also, with the poll for how far Abdullah Mason can go for the weight classes, we got a multiplicity of answers. 33% right now got it up to 147 is the limit. 154, 50% of people think it's going to go up that high. And we got 17% thinking that he's going to get to 160. Okay, so we got roughly the least bit of the population is thinking the way I'm thinking, that we're going to have, Abdullah be able to get up to 160. I truly do believe he can. Most people, all y'all think that 168 just is a step too far. I get it. I understand. As do I, but I just threw it out there as a missed stuff. Could we see him? So Terrence Crawford can do it. Could you see him going down that same path? I'm not saying he will. I'm not calling him Crawford, but just as an option. But most people have him at 154 as the main limit of what you can feasibly see him get up to be dominant. So, hey, I respect it. And we're going to keep the poll up. You all can keep on voting, keep on liking, hey, keep on sharing, keep on enjoying the show. And please, we're having a blast. We're having a ball. We're having ourselves a great old time. So I still want to hear what you all got to say as we're leading into tomorrow afternoon with the ring for Benavidez, Yarde, Norman, Haney, and all the other cards going around on the 4A, as well as, don't forget, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua just had their press conference. So if you want to talk about that, hey, bring it up in the chat and we can discuss it right here for you all to enjoy, because this is the championship rounds, if you didn't know. And if you're new here, you control the whole of the conversation as time goes on, for you to be able to voice your opinions and thoughts on whatever you want to say in regards to the sports world, whether it's movies, sports, video games, TV, NBA, NFL, boxing, anything, whatever you can talk about. If I can be about it, hey, we can discuss it. Also, Mr. Miyagi, I saw the movie. I saw it. I did it. I got to witness it. All hours. It was like, what, hour 50? Hour, something like that. Phenomenal film. Oh, my gosh. And now they're referencing the war. And now that I saw the movie, okay, I get it now. And hey, brother, hey, look, Gojo, bad brother. Yuta, that's a bad dude. Whole crew is a bad dude. The Panda, incredible. Love him. And I get it. I'm glad you told me to watch the film. It's worth it. So I finally got to see it. So yes, now I can watch the series all the way through. And I'm enjoying it now. It's good. I'm glad I started watching. And I'm glad I took your advice as well, because it's working out great. But let me keep on reading what y'all got to say. Bam was not faced such a physical fighter, and Puma can get nasty inside, but so can Bam. Is guilty of throwing a lot of low blows. Now, so he'll let some shots stray at times. So he can be a little bit of a rough rider. He can be more of a he'll move some weight around in a negative light, if you get what I'm saying. So we're gonna find out how he can deal with frustration when somebody is doing a little bit of dirty boxing. Now, do I think he can handle it? Yeah, but we're gonna find out. This is gonna be a unique test for the likes of Bam, and I can't wait to see how he deals with it. Absolutely, no question about it. Let me see. Benavidez stop. Let me see. Kevin McNamara. What's going on with it? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So happy you're with us on today. We appreciate you showing up and showing out on today's episode. Please leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Keep on commenting. Keep on chatting. Subscribe and join the empire if you haven't already. Welcome to the hottest show in all the globe. And hey, if you want to support the channel and you like what you're hearing, stick around. Share the show. Also, we get cash up and paper, orders, super chats, whatever you want to do. We're trying to make some dough, but we're also trying to entertain. We're going to entertain first and foremost. Yeah, absolutely. But let me see what you guys say. Benavidez stoppage, 7 through 12. Let me tell you something. A lot of people, all of a sudden, why is everybody picking stoppages for this fight with Benavidez? I'm not saying he can't do it. It's shocking. Because were we not just saying that Benavidez didn't have pop at 175 like he had at 168. And now all of a sudden, everybody's saying that Yarde is going to get knocked out or stopped by the likes of Benavidez. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I would love to ask, why do you think that Benavidez is going to get the stoppage? I got Benavidez winning. Mind you, I have him winning comfortably. But why is everybody all of a sudden saying that he's going to get the stoppage when it was said, even on this channel, as well as with everybody else around the boxing community, the brother doesn't have the same, crack that he used to, the same bludgeoning, face-breaking power. Because he had his way against Gavazdi, and he couldn't stop him. Had his way against David Morrell, he couldn't stop him. The last time he got, stoppage was against, again, Boo Boo Andre, which broke his face and broke his body, broke his spirit. But since the move up, he hasn't been the same puncher, better fighter, better combination puncher, better all around. It's just, I really don't think we're going to see a stoppage, because unless all of a sudden he's garnered some level of, okay, yeah, I get it now at 175. Okay, this is where I need to be to actually get some pop back in my system. Not pop is in like drugs, but pop is in, crack. Not crack cocaine like with Joseph Parker. Like crack is in like, some oomph. See, that's bad as well. Not oomph as in like some ostarine, like some power. That's the See, everybody popping dirty. I can't use every phrase now because that's going to insinuate that you're putting something in your system. So let me be clear. Unless Benavidez found a way to get some power legally without the use of drugs that is got him punching like he was at 175, I don't know if I can be as confident as you all to say that he's going to get a knockout at 175 against a fighter who's only been knocked out against two of the hardest hitters of this generation, or of last in this generation at light heavyweight. It's hard for me to think that, but if it happens, hey, look, it'll be great. It'll be fun. I ain't gonna put it past him. If he does, I will be shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Do you think if Bam loses, where does he go from here? Well, if he loses all of his belts. He loses his, I believe, unified, or in this case, undisputed titles. I think, I forget how many belts he has at this division. Now, I mean, does he bounce back? Yeah, it's Bam. I don't think he falls too far. He gets back into the title picture immediately because, again, he's been the most dominant fighter at that division and has been pound for pound, and deservedly so. He has been head and shoulders above everybody else. I don't think that he drops so far. It's just it's a rock. He can't get back. He's got to build himself back up. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an immediate rematch, similar to Terrence Crawford and Canelo, with both of them in talks of getting a rematch now because Canelo, again, held the belts for so long, was the best of the division. You lost. Okay, you understand the champ, especially of that caliber, deserves a rematch. Understand. I think that's what would happen with Bam. Now, as a fighter, what he would turn into, I don't know. I don't think it would, I don't think a loss would change. I don't think a loss would change him drastically. I don't. It would have asked him some questions. It would ask with anybody. But does it completely throw him out the window as a fighter? I don't think so. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. Not me specifically. But like with any fighter, especially of that caliber, it's going to be like, hey, all right. Is the decline starting? Is he starting to dip? Was that big run a fluke run? And it's now the beginning of the end. That's going to be the conversations that come up. Will that be the case with him? I don't think so. I think he'll be able to get back to the mountaintop again. But it would be shocking to say the least if that did happen. Would it put him out of everything? I don't think so. At least in my opinion. Let me see. Christian Gonzalez Christian Gonzalez was a test at least, and then broke Bam's jaw. Yeah, so we're going to see if Puma can do the same thing or if Martinez can do the same thing. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Let me see. AJ better knock Jake Paul out of the ring. I never want to hear his name again. And speaking of which, as long as he is 5'8", he can't. And here's the thing. Before we continue, guys, I see some of your other chats. Actually, let me read these other chats real quick. And then Teddy, I'm gonna bring up what I wanted to show with the Jake Paul Joshua thing. Because there was something I didn't want to touch on. Now that we're officially in a month out, Crazy Network is a month out from the fight. So here's something I want to say on that. But let me come back to this. Absolutely. What do you think of Ben Whitaker fight next week? I think he better continue the same performance that he had when he was crying and getting that monkey off of his back, getting that chip off of his shoulder, feeling relieved and all that stuff. He better keep on fighting like that. I don't want to see him doing the hands down flashy stuff, not because it's not a part of him, but because I need to see the discipline be consistent. I need to see the discipline be consistent. And then I can say, okay, yeah, do all that other stuff that we know you can do. Because now you've shown, okay, you got what you need down. That's what I'm anticipating for. I'm expecting another stoppage. I'm expecting Ben to go through and dominate completely. But I'm also expecting him to do it in a way that it is very much not just focused, it's disciplined. If I see that 2 times in a row, now I can say, okay, yeah, Ben Whitaker, this cat's legit. I can say he's legit. But it's going to be predicated off of this fight. It's going to be predicated on my future outlook. It's going to be predicated off of what he does in this fight. His individual performance, and one that he should be able to handle. But it's how he handles it. That's what I'm interested in. Are you excited for Janibek and Lara? Yes, I am. Absolutely. And will Janibek finally get the respect he deserves if he KOs Lara? He'll get the notoriety. The respect was already there. It was the notoriety of Janibek that he hadn't garnered. Because, again, Canelo with everything at 168, overshadowing him. 154 was going off. 135 was going off with the drama. Everything. He was surrounded by Terrence Crawford moving up and all that stuff with Canelo. He was surrounded by everything else. And his division wasn't really packed. And the best people in the division had moved out, like with Shiraz. Yeah, he still got Carlos Adames. Yes, no issue there. But in terms of like the whole, he kind of got lost in the shuffle. But the respect never left. It was notoriety. He beats Lara. Yeah, the notoriety. He gets the notoriety that he deserves. And then everything else follows suit. So it's not the respect I'm concerned with. It was the visibility, the notoriety, the acclaim that comes with this win against the likes of Lara. We're going to find out. Do you think Joe Cardina can become champion at lightweight? Ooh. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be tough, I'm not going to lie. Lightweight 135 right now. That. Ooh. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody might have to leave the division before I can say yes. With what it's looking like, with what it's looking like at this point in time, somebody might have to leave. With how it's looking right now, somebody might have to leave the division before we can say, yeah, he's going and he can win. Like if Shakur left the division, fighting 2 at 130, okay, yeah, I can see that. But excuse me, at 135, yeah, I can see that. But watch, hold on, wait, hold on. Before I say that, hold on. Let me make sure I got my weight classes right. Hold on. Because I'm thinking, hold on, wait a minute. I could be talking wrong. Do I have my weight classes correct? Hold on a minute. Let me make sure. I'm not trying to get confused. Bang for the weight. Junior lightweight. Okay, yeah. Lightweight, 135. We're talking, hypothetically, Tank, Varian Murtala, Andy Cruz, Shakur Stevenson, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield, and that's just top heavy. That's tough. That's tough. That's a stiff division to run through. Shoot, for right now, I'm gonna say no. Only because everybody else who's in there is as good or better, genuine, than Joe at this point in time. But if somebody leaves, I can say more confident. Okay, yeah, I can see him get to get a championship. But it's going to take some stuff, man. I'm sorry. It's going to take some stuff. It's going to take some real stuff. Let me go reading. Let me see. Do you think Navarrete stays at 130 after he beats Sugar Nunez and becomes undisputed? No, he moves up. I'm almost as sure he moves up. He moves up afterwards. He moves up after that. He's got to. He's got to. There's too much stuff at 135 that he can make money with and potentially actually beat, that he would be a fool not to move up there. And it would make sense as well. Because it's I've said this multiple times. He gives I don't care how, he gives Tank trouble. He gives Shakur trouble. He gives Abdullah Mason trouble. You can say he ain't better than him. That's fine. He gives all of them trouble. That's a walking upset for any one of them. Just because of the style alone. And the legitimate pop that he brings to the table. That's an upset. That is an upset in the making. I kid you not. For one of them, somebody's getting upset by that brother. No matter how good you think they are. That's the one brother that I can say definitively somebody's getting upset by if they face off against him. I don't care how good they are. Somebody's going to get upset if Navarrete gets up to 135. I'm that confident. He is a Rubik's Cube. I still haven't figured it out to this day. And I thought we had the answer. We don't. That is going to be a nightmare to face. And he would be a fool not to go up there and try. He'd be a fool for me because he deserves it. He deserves that opportunity. But let me see. Going back to Teddy Brookshire, now we can go and address your sentiments in regard to the conversation with Anthony Joshua in terms of preparing for this fight. In the words of the press conference as they were talking, let me give you some news as to what's transpiring right now. As we go into the old picture, well, actually, hold on. Before I say that, let me make sure we actually got it up here. There we go. As we go into the old world of picture and picture, yes, sir. We now got some news with the Anthony Joshua Jake Paul situation. And look at what he's doing right now, confirming what we all thought. This brother's training with Usyk.
And are you still being trained by Ben Davison, Lee Wiley? Will Ben be in your corner on the 19th of December?
So no, I won't be trained by Ben Davison. I said that London's a bit distracting for me. So I was invited to train with Team Usyk. So I've been in Spain. We've been doing some good training out in Spain. And I think he's one of the best in the world. Not I think, he is one of the best in the world. And it's not all down to him, it's also down to his team that's around him. So I linked up with them and getting an insight to how someone who's achieved so much has been phenomenal, man. It's been a great experience and it's very challenging.
Wow, I did not know that. So who will be your head trainer on the night?
Igor.
Okay. And how long have you been with them?
A couple months now.
Couple months?
Yeah.
In the darkness, in secret. This is some breaking news.
It's great. I mean, obviously, he's training with the best in the world. He is one of the best heavyweights in the world. We expect nothing less. It's great. And I want the best version of Anthony Joshua.
No, you don't. My gosh. Brother. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no. Oh, gosh. Again, if you were just tuning into the show, if you didn't hear, going up now, we're talking about the Jake Paul press conference and all that stuff. Now we just got confirmed news. But out of Joshua's own mouth, for the last 3 or 4 months, however long it's been, Anthony Joshua has been training with Usyk, not for Usyk, with Usyk. And his entire team. This is similar to you going to Dagestan or Dagestan and training with Nurmagomedov, Makachev, and that entire sect of team. But you come back a different man. DC, crazy enough, a brother who I keep getting compared to when people see the shorts that I post on social media. But Daniel Cormier, but to sent his sons to Dagestan to train with Nurmagomedov, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Makachev, and that whole Dagestan sect and crew who are incredibly dedicated, incredibly driven. But he forgot about them. They came back completely different men and completely different wrestlers. I'm talking about running through people. He sent his entire wrestling class over to get Dagestan. Or Dagestan. It's Dagestan. Dagestan. And then 13-year-olds to come through and train 2 years. Left them there with the team. Just paid hotels, all that stuff. Khabib took care of them great. Left them over in another country. 2 years, 3 years. But if they came back, they were winning. They were championships left, right, and center. Couldn't be touched by anybody. This is the equivalent of that. My gosh, Jake Paul. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Boy, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. And the biggest, and even bigger than that, after it's just going through, if we wanted to see a face-to-face with the standoff and with the standoff with the press conference, let me show you exactly what we're dealing with. Let me show you exactly what we're dealing with when it comes to Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Because this is something. Look at this. Genuinely look at this. As I'll turn it down a little bit. Look at this height differential. Now, I also want you to understand, Jake Paul wears pumps or elevated shoes most of the time. He might be 6 feet, 6'1" in those. But he wasn't too much taller than Mike Tyson, who granted had shrunk because, again, age over the years. But 5'10", 5'11". This in shoes. This is how tall he is. And his shoes are elevated. Without shoes, this gap would be even bigger. I don't think you understand. I don't think you get it. This is not the real height difference between the two. Anthony Joshua's shoulder to arm, shoulder to fist, is as far as Jake Paul's chin to his wrist. Not fist, wrist. Do you understand that? Anthony Joshua's shoulder comes to the chin of Jake Paul's chin, looking up. We are dealing with a situation, and I said this before. Jake Paul, let me put my face up to the camera. Let me get my face on the thing so you can so you get the severity. Jake Paul is dealing with a fight. Jake Paul is dealing with a fight where he is inevitably outmatched in every regard. Jake Paul will have never dealt with this type of height, reach, and speed differential. There is not a chance in the world that he beats Anthony Joshua. There's not a chance he touches Anthony Joshua from the perspective of a mismatch in getting to him. He lunges at every punch he does when he's eye to eye with somebody. Excuse me. When he's taller than somebody or eye to eye with somebody. did the same thing to Julio Cesar Chavez, lunging with everything. He is going to have to lunge like never before just to get in vicinity with the likes of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua could stand and fight off the back foot all night long and just step and just lull Jake in the counters, because there's no way Jake Paul can reach him without having to overextend more egregiously than he's ever done in his life, and he already does that on a consistent basis. Not to mention, Jake Paul will have never dealt with the level of speed that Anthony Joshua is going to bring to the table, let alone a slimmed down 120, 245 Anthony Joshua. Mind you, some of his best performances came at under 245. There's no way he wins this fight. There is a legitimate inkling that he's going to be severely damaged. He can talk all this bravado. He can talk all this. He can talk as much as he wants to talk. I want you at your best. No, you don't. I want you with everything you got. No, you don't. I want you to be everything that you can be. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. Do you want to put this into perspective from a speed standpoint? Understand it. See, and this is important. This is important. You want to understand why I'm so concerned? Mike Tyson's head movement was enough to make Jake Paul miss and retreat nearly halfway across the ring. Mike Tyson made Jake Paul miss on a consistent basis coming forward. He lost the fight, absolutely. But the one thing that we had said he had lost in the later stages of his career with the pre-slipping head movement and all that stuff, he gained that back in that fight at minimum. He gained that back when he fought against Roy Jones Jr. He had that he never forgot. He was slipping and avoiding shots and pre-seeing them. He just couldn't capitalize on nothing because he was too old and too slow because he was 60. But Anthony Joshua, if Mike Tyson at almost 60 can pick up on when you're going to throw a jab and slip it before he comes out consistently, the world do you think Anthony Joshua is going to be able to do? With better instincts, elite height and range, and speed that, again, you have never faced before in your career. Let alone, he is still, when he does throw his shots, he can be one of the fastest combination punchers in the division. That's also Anthony Joshua. Forget the power. Part of that power and the delivery system is I can get to you quicker than you can react. That is Anthony Joshua. He did it, for instance, in Ghana. He did it to Jermaine Franklin, even though he didn't knock him out. He did it to Robert Elenius, being conservative. And when he commits to a shot, you're not going to want to trade with him. And again, even if you do, your power is not enough to hurt this man. I guarantee it. And you are going to gas out by the time round 5 comes into play. There's no way you can win this fight. You are going to be injured in a bad way. I dare say you better hope this fight goes short if you're Jake Paul. Because if you get lackadaisical like you've done in every fight in your career after round 4 against an Anthony Joshua, who he'll start picking up the pace at round 5, you will be in an even less ability to brace and withstand the power that Joshua's going to throw at you than you would be if you got cold hard knocked out in round 1, 2, and 3. Your body will be too fatigued to even be able to react. And then you won't be able to brace if you wanted to. Next thing you know, you're in a coma. I'm not trying to be fearful. I'm not trying to say I want the brother to die or get hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what you asked for, and you're about to understand you should not be in this game. There is some fear I got, y'all. There's some fear. There's some real fear. I'm telling you, I'm not trying just to blow up stuff. I'm telling you right now, this type of discrepancy is not just a fluke. This is not even the real height difference of when he doesn't have these platform shoes on. Jake Paul in all reality is closer to 6 feet, 5'11", than he is to 6'2", like he is in this picture. In boxing shoes, this is insane. It would get to a point where Anthony Joshua's fist would only get down to his shirt, to Jake Paul's end of his shirt, like it is now, but even more fervently, because of the fact he's going to be so much taller, so much longer, and not only that, leaner, more cut up. Let alone with the stamina that they're training with Usyk. The drills that we know have made Usyk one of the best gas tanks in boxing today. Anthony Joshua's adding that to his arsenal. Jake, you're about to be in a world of pain that you never expect. In fact, Jake Paul won't even be in a world of pain. It's just going to be, that's it. You want to know what it's going to be like for Jake Paul? Do you want to know what it's going to be like for Jake Paul when he fights? I'm going to show you. Wait, let me show you. I'm going to show you what it's going to be like for Jake Paul. When Jake Paul fights against Anthony Joshua, I want you to watch my screen. I want you to watch my screen. Bell rings. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's getting all going through. Round 1 goes through. Jake is scared. Round 2, Jake keeps on going through. Maybe he throws a jab. Jake's still scared. And then round 3, bell rings. Everybody's talking. And then you see how abrupt that is? I went from playing music, crowd cheering, and now I went dead silent. The screen went pitch black. You hear nothing but my voice. The ether of this ain't even nothingness. This is black. Imagine nothing. Immediate. That's what this is what it's going to be like for Jake Paul. It's going to go from that. He won't even feel it. And this is from people that have been knocked out before. You don't even feel it. It just goes dark. This is it. This is all you see. And then you pop up. What happened? That is legit what it's going to be like for Jake Paul. I'm saying this in all serious. It's funny, absolutely. But it's serious. We're dealing with somebody that can get to you that quick. That is what Francis Ngannou experienced when he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. That is what Berman Stavern experienced when he got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. That is what Dillian White experienced when he got knocked out by Povetkin and Anthony Joshua. Ironically enough, an instant pitch black, not even remotely close to the ability to rationalize. And in most instances, you'll see the punch coming. You won't see it. Jake Paul won't see the punch coming. Be clear, Jake Paul will not see the punch coming. It's going to be so bad. He's going to deal with a level of speed that is going to be so egregiously scary. Not the power. The speed alone is going to deter Jake Paul from wanting to throw. He's going to get so defensive. He will try to throw a saving grace big shot like we know he wants to do, because he saw Daniel Dubois do the same thing. And his only big discourse is the right hand, which again, it's not a power to actually knock out Jake Paul or knock out Anthony Joshua. He's going to overextend on a shot. He's going to get caught with an uppercut or a straight right. He's going to get put down by a counter jab. Be clear. That's number one. Jake Paul's going to get put down by a counter jab. Number one. Number two, Jake Paul's going to get winded if he does go past round 4. round 3 because he's gaining extra weight. And number 3, Jake Paul is going to overextend and get caught with a shot, either a right straight or an uppercut, that is going to have him in such a bad way. I guarantee you the ref will not count when he gets to the ground. The ref will not count when he hits the ground. The ref will not count when he hits the ground. It's going to be straight up immediate done. Because it's going to be that bad. I'm telling you, it's going to be that bad. It's going to be that. It is going to be that bad. And he can think. You can think what you want. If you're Jake Paul, you better reconsider, man. You better reconsider, cause boy, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be so bad. Oh gosh, it is gonna. It's. I kid you not. There's a part of me that's scared. I kid you not. There's a part of me that's scared. There's a part of me that's scared. I'm being real. There's a part of me that's scared. Cause I feel like I know what's gonna happen. Boy, and it's gonna be insane. Usyk, Joshua together is not good for everybody. Shoot, hey, we can look past Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua with Usyk going up against the rest of the heavyweight division. All of a sudden, this might be the kick in the butt for his career that he needed. Forget just the tune-up fight. Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua as a fighter with Usyk in his corner, helping him to blend offense and defense together in the way that we've known he's been able to do in the past. If this pairing does indeed work out, oh my gosh. All of a sudden, that's a legit another run of their title. That's scary. That's horrific. I would love to see this AJ, if this is what he's been working with, and it shows that it works, I would love to see this AJ versus Daniel Dubois again. What this pairing would equate to. I would love to see this AJ versus Tyson Fury. Joseph Parker, shoot, this AJ with Usyk training versus Moses Atalma, I'd pay to watch that. That'd be a good fight. That would be a good fight, man. Joshua's dangerous training with Usyk. Joshua is a dangerous training with Usyk. Is more bad news for his opponent. It's horrible, man. Joshua gonna end Paul's career. He is. I truly do. Cause you have to understand. Jake Paul is lost, but he didn't end his career. He lost to Tommy Fury. Jake Paul's been knocked down, but he still didn't end his career like he did against Anderson Silva when he got knocked down. But Jake Paul has never been knocked out. And for the career, monetarily, it's going to ruin him. From the standpoint of after he beats you, there's nowhere else lower you can go that people want to see you fight, and there's nowhere lower you can go that people will be invested in. Because then you would have to actually go through the work of being a real boxer. Not saying that you aren't a real boxer now because you've been training for oh so long, but you're a bum boxer who hasn't faced off against people to actually build up his skill sets that are at or above his level. You haven't. Now you're going to be forced to, and you're going to have to actually put in that work late in your career, try to get back up. And if you do want to face up against somebody else that is at your caliber, the only other person with a legitimate name at the heavyweight division that is around your experience level is Fabio Wardley. And you don't want those problems. I know you don't, because you sure enough ain't gonna feel you gonna feel what it's like to have that problem with Anthony Joshua. And that's a methodical brother who you think you can crack with your punch because his chin might be vulnerable. You face off against Fabio Wardley, but I wish you would think you can knock out him with the right hand. Straight. That juggernaut. I wish you would think you can do, because you don't. And you're not. But beyond just the career, the psyche of this man, there's a thing called your punch shot, your gunshot. Is it gunshot or gunshot? I think it's gun shy and gunshot. We're gonna go with gunshot. You became gunshot. Punch drunk. That's the word. It's a twofold street. Not just with punch drunk as in you are, the punches have gotten to your brain. You're going to get punch shot or gunshot because you're scared to throw because every flinch now has you biting. And any sign of aggression can lead to you saying, oh, he can't be a boxer. He can't be a fighter anymore. Now he is scared of anything that equates to a violent action. It's a real psychological thing. Where you get hit with something, or something is such a traumatic experience in fighting or in punching, that now whenever any action of violence is against you, you immediately flinch back. You do that in boxing, your career is done. Because you freeze up. That's what can happen to Jake Paul after this fight, during this fight, in this fight. So it's going to be scary. I agree. The best thing that can happen, Jake Paul getting knocked out quick and early. Yeah, absolutely. Jake will get hurt and disappear from the sport. He might, unless he still sticks with MVP. I mean, will he keep on fighting? I don't know. I doubt it, but we're going to see what happens. The upcoming schedule is crazy. Yeah, man. You got the Wars of the Samurai coming up with Nakatani, Junto, and Picasso, and with like 8 other fights on the card that are elite. January, you got potentially Shakur versus Teofimo Lopez coming up. It's gonna be a barber. It's gonna be a barber. Then December, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. It's ridiculous. It's Jake Paul crazy. I'll give him that. Like, yeah, hey, I give him respect. Because this is the type of test that we wanted, though this wasn't the egregious degree I said it needed to happen. From a Jake Paul perspective, this was the only thing that he could do. Fight an Anthony Joshua or a Deontay Wilder. And I thought it would never happen because he would never take those actual type of risks. But even with that, I give him credit because you're facing off against somebody that fits the bill in every regard of what you need to fight against at this level. But even this level, for even any other boxer at this level, with Jake Paul, fighting Anthony Joshua, that's too high of a level. I understand that completely. But again, you shot yourself in the foot because you built this as the only viable option for your career to continue. Because you didn't do the work like you were supposed to in the grunge of competition to actually hone your skills. And now, it's going to be bad. Of all the crazy fights happening and prospects to look forward to, and we got Tenshin versus Takuma Inoue. Oh yeah, I forgot that Takuma and Tenshin, they fighting each other. I forgot on Monday. It's gonna be like every left, right, and center. Something's gonna be transpiring. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. What if Paul hits the punch gifted by the gods and knocks out AJ? There's nothing like I said this earlier this week. There's nothing I can say if Anthony Joshua gets knocked out by Jake Paul. There's nothing. Genuinely, there's nothing I can say. It would be the biggest upset in sports history. This would be a bigger upset than Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. This would be a bigger upset than Canada beating than the USA beating, I think it was Russia or Canada in the Olympics. In the Miracle on Ice. This would be bigger than any sports upset we've ever seen in sport, not boxing history, in sports history. I say that to finish. This will blow Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz out the water. It would. It would. It would, without a doubt. It ain't gonna happen. But if it did, off of that one fight, somebody could be a millionaire. If somebody bet. And also, Jake Paul's career, or Anthony Joshua's career will be over. And then Jake Paul will be in position for a title. Literally, that's what it would be. But there would be nothing I can say. Sadly, there would be nothing I can say. Because that would take a miracle. Unless AJ just got stupid and just didn't do everything he was supposed to. And said, I can take the power, I'll do whatever. And then got knocked out because he was reckless. And Jake Paul's power can actually hurt him. because his chin is vulnerable. Then that would take a miracle. But again, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Miracle's going to need to happen. It will. But I highly doubt he lands anything. He won't. He won't even be able to throw. Just moving around the ring, he'll get tired by round 4. Without throwing anything, he'll get tired by round 4. And I guarantee you, watch, he's going to try to look to survive. Jake Paul's going to try to just look to survive after round 2. After round 2, Jake Paul's going to try to look to survive. He's not going to actually try to throw. He's going to stay at distance. He's not going to try to engage. He's going to try to come through. He's going to do the same thing that he did to Mike Tyson, where he just stayed away. He's going to do the same thing to Jake Paul. But in this case, because he just doesn't want to get knocked out, because he's losing. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. So it's going to be bad. And I forgot, Sky Nicholson is in December. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And she's fighting, I forget what day in December she's fighting, but either way, watching her fight is going to be phenomenal. Absolutely, because she's going to be incredible. And she's going to make a statement, I guarantee it. I promise she's going to make a statement. Also, let me go back to the poll real quick for the Abdullah Mason thing. I think we can end this poll now. Officially now, we got, okay, all right, so 56% say 147, 154 is going to be the biggest limit for Abdullah Mason. 22% got it for 140, 147. 160 got 22% as well. So most people think that 154 is the real upper limit for Abdullah Mason. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if we can take that level of power when he faces off against Sam Noakes on this card, and this whole card as a whole is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Man, I can't wait for it. And we're going to be here at 3 o'clock watching the whole card go through. And hey, it's going to be a time. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell somebody to come through on Saturday. Because we're going to be here sitting down, sitting pretty, and having talks surrounding all the fights, calling all the action, and watching the best card of the year go forth right before our eyes on today. And my gosh, it's going to be exciting. Final prediction for the fights. I think I gave them already. But Brian Norman, Devin Haney. We'll start from, I thought I had given him, but I thought I had given them all. But I'll give him one more time just to have one final cachet or hoo-ha of what this fight's going to be like. When it comes to the big events, let me make sure I got the whole, let me pull up the whole card, at least for the main event. For the main events, I got Abdullah Mason knocking out Sam Noakes. I got Bam Rodriguez knocking out Fernando Martinez. I got Brian Norman knocking out Devin Haney. And I got Benavidez beating Yarde by unanimous decision. So those are my 4 predictions. Abdullah Mason by KO. Bam Rodriguez by KO. Brian Norman by KO. And David Benavidez by unanimous decision. All of whom are going to go into the world of boxing, a new man with new frontiers in front of him. And this card is going to shake up the whole, and I do mean the whole, of this entire division. It's going to be a blast to witness. Mark my words. I can't wait to see. It's going to be so much fun. And it's going to be exciting again. Norman versus Haney. Norman knocks out Devin Haney. If you want a round, by round 8, if we want to be serious. By round 8. If it goes the same way as Ryan Garcia, by round 8, he knocks him out. I truly do think that. But we're going to find out. But we're going to all watch it together on tomorrow. Because we're less than 24 hours away from the biggest card of the year. And we all going to witness it together. So with all that being said, it's been a phenomenal show. But it's time to pack it up, send it home, get on out of here, and get ready for tomorrow afternoon. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Welch, but with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. Thank you to all of you who tuned in and were willing to sit by and have yourself a time on today's episode. It's been a phenomenal show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully we made up for me not being able to be here earlier on Thursday because we had some stuff that came up, had to handle it. Very important. But now we good. We sitting back. We riding high, and we appreciate all of you. Please come through. Leave a like on the stream before you get out of here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Come join the empire. Be sure to share the show with everybody you know so we can keep on building this empire together. Hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube. Also, be sure to go and rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform. This is going to be here right after the show ends later on tonight for you to be able to listen and go back to on every podcasting platform imaginable. If you would like to support the channel, we still got super chats and gifts if you want to give to the show. Hey, all made possible by you coming through and continuing to watch. We are officially monetized now, so if you want to give and invest in the show, hey, you can do it right here, and we can all make some money. I can make some money, and we can and we can go and invest back into the show, make it bigger and better for all of you to sit back and enjoy with. We thank you all so much. Again, we also got Cash App and PayPal if you would like to support. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and listened and supported and donated to the show. You mean the world to me, and this show cannot be anything without you all. No question about it. The top fans, the top comment, the top chatters for the show. Number pound for pound, top chatters for the show. Number 5, Teddy Burkshot. Number 4, Boxing Pro. Number 3, Armin Rhoda. Number 2, Matt Borgerson. And number 1 for this show, it's Mr. Miyagi. Absolutely. Congratulations to you on taking the top spot as the top chatter for the channel on today, at least per the YouTube rankings on the list I'm looking at right now. We appreciate all of you tuning in. We appreciate all of you listening. And hey, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Saturday. Be back here this afternoon. Be safe. Be blessed. Have a phenomenal night. Have a phenomenal afternoon. And be ready for the biggest card of the year. Come tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have some fun. Be safe. Be blessed. And we out.